An error occurred. Is that for
Oh,
Twitter?
that's Twitter.
As for Twitter. Oh, technical difficulties. Well, fuck Twitter.
I'll put it on your one whilst we do
Switch
it.
it to Ginger Greek. Yeah. Switch it to Ginger Greek. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are. Apologies in advance if you're hearing a buzzing noise or a fan cut. It's too damn hot, and I've got my wonderful air cooler here, and I refuse to turn it off because I'm sweating like a fat guy in a sauna. So, like me, we have a belly full of beef, and we are ready to rock and roll with this week's tidbit. It's been a bit of a quiet week. Nothing much has really happened. Bit boring, really. I mean, I tell you what, there's not much news, so we could just, talk about flowers and pretty birds. And that's right. Hang on.
I was just thinking that. I was like,
somebody got shot.
Or
I don't know who.
Or
who could it be? They're orange like me. They're fat like me. They're old like me. But they're rich. So
no, he's not rich.
He's not rich. He plays that he's rich, but he relies on donations to survive because he has no money because he's a moron. Anyway, Donald Trump got shot. And oh dear. How sad. Sad that he only grazed his ear. But if the rights are triggered about that, let me just make one perfectly clear. I'm not a softy lefty. I'm a violent lefty. And when your rhetoric is violent and you threaten democracy and women's reproductive rights, there's only one real solution to that problem. Either old age or a bullet to the brain. So,
He made fun of sorry.
If you're not extreme enough, then your own fucking fans and followers might want to take you out too, like the fucking cunt who shot at him.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not violent or extreme enough, then your own people will turn against you. So miss me with all that crap about playing the victim. Let's always remember how everyone cheered Carl Rittenhouse when he shot the protesters, how he's a martyr. He got to walk free, and everyone gloated and laughed about that. Everyone cheered Trump when he said, he laughed about Nancy Pelosi's husband getting the shit kicked out of him, and how many times about the Second Amendment sorting out Hillary and all this kind of shit. So,
and letting people out of jail that had committed horrible crimes, praising Hitler.
Yeah, praising Hitler, getting offended that Nazis are getting insulted now. Rick, your comments are stupid, so I'm not going to validate your idiocy. I love you, baby, but no. And so this is the political landscape of America now. This is always going to be the way. And in November, if Trump doesn't win, this is still going to be the way. Like, there's still going to be riots and people throwing a hissy fit, claiming that everything's rigged against them, even though they're the ones that have rigged the system themselves.
And I don't feel guilty either, because I saw so many TikToks saying you liberals are lucky, because if that had been 1 inch, to the left, there would have been war, and we would have spilled all your liberal snowflake fairy blood on the ground and shit like that. It's like,
yeah, but they say that all the time. Like, how many mass shootings have been at bloody gay bars and clubs, and how many gay people are getting shot at, and immigrants just getting absolutely obliterated at the border by non-official kind of border patrols and all this. Like, their rhetoric has always been violence, okay?
And
the left rhetoric has been, it's always been like about tolerance to an extent. We're not tolerant of everyone. We're tolerant of those that are tolerant of others. The ones that aren't tolerant of other people, then it's just like, okay, I'll leave you be. But if you're violent, if your rhetoric is violent, then we're going to have a problem. It's as simple as that. It's not it's not kind of right. I know right wingers have difficulty understanding basic ideologies, basic human anything. Okay, but it's really that simple. If you are a threat to the bigger picture, then you deserve what you get. It's as simple as that. The left are only a threat to a handful of billionaires. That's it. We're just a threat to the rich. We're not a threat to right wing working class people. We're not a threat to fucking, closeted right wing homosexuals who don't want to come out. We're not going to tell you, oh, you must oust yourself. We're not the Gawker. We're just saying tax the rich, public utilities that people need to be in public ownership, workers' rights, women's rights. It's simple as that.
And we're not the ones that want Project 25.
Yeah, we're not the ones that want Project 2025. You can't preach peace and love. We don't preach peace. We preach love and tolerance of those that are tolerant, but we don't sit there saying, we should all tolerate the hate mongers who spew violent rhetoric. Christine.
I'll give you a good example. Everyone thinks Canadians very pleasant, very polite, very kind, very nice. In general, true. Not always, but in general, true. But as soon as we hear the word war, look up our war record in the First and Second World War. It's like a switch goes. It's the same here. We're all like, get along. Let's just do our thing as long as no one's hurting someone else. But as soon as you put people's lives in danger because they're trans or something, oh yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. It's not. It's peace for the sake of peace that everyone should be getting along. But the problem is, the ones that don't want the peace are the ones that will just come into your life and fuck with you for no reason. At that point in time, you should get very defensive and retaliate. Because it's like, no, peace to an extent. But I'm not going to sit there and just be like, oh, yeah, I'm peaceful. You can come in, Mr. Right Wing Man, and you can take my home. You can fuck my wife. You could do this. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. The hypocrisy of the left has been exposed this week, just wanting death because Trump. No, again,
Rick, shot him?
We didn't shoot him, firstly. It was his own person that shot him. And secondly, we're saying that his death is a good thing because of the threat he poses. What is the threat he poses? If you don't understand what Project 2025 is, and if you don't understand the rhetoric he's been saying that he'll just take away, dismantle the Constitution and the courts and pack it full of his own people, that is a threat to democracy.
And
that
put his political rivals in jail.
If you don't think somebody like that deserves to die, then that means you must have a Mussolini and a Hitler soft spot as well, because it's the same rhetoric. You must go and blow Erdogan's dick every fucking day, because it's the same thing. Okay, Erdogan of Turkey is a fascist. It's as simple as that.
I don't think anyone should shoot anyone, but I'm kind of rooting for a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm a nihilist, so the more people die, the merrier. Even on our side, I don't give a fuck. Just
right, I'm not.
Right, but I don't support violence. I don't support violence. But the thing is, Rick, right? This guy has put young children into cages. This guy has said that he will remove a lot of people's democratic right to vote. And whether you agree with him or not, you've got to admit that that's messed up. Because even if you disagree with the left, you've got to admit that we have the right to vote. You should have the right to vote. We don't agree with you. We think you should have the right to vote. Everyone should have the right to vote, unless there's a very good reason they shouldn't. Okay.
Gary, he was also willing to deport American citizens whose families are of immigrants, whether they be legal or illegal. He still wants to deport American citizens because. So they will be born in the States, but because of what their heritage is, he's willing to get rid of them. And by the way, TLD is a chipmunk, not a squirrel.
Oh, you saw it?
You're goddamn right.
Because it ran there. I got some nuts. I'm hoping it comes back and gets in my hand.
Oh, brilliant! I missed it
Getting some
when
nuts
it
in your
came
hand.
in.
Lucky guy.
But the thing is,
Oh.
he's already done it, Rick. Right? He put kids into cages when he put Mexican immigrants into cages. That's literally under his presidency.
Asylum
His
seekers.
presidency. That's what he
Yeah.
did. He
Well,
put
it's
kids into
asylum
prison.
seekers that he put in prison
Yeah,
separated.
exactly. Yeah, and people said that violated about 3 or 4 of the Human Rights Act.
It's not just in cages, but like the squalor they were living in, they were, like all unhygienic, and they were all lying on top of each other. I remember that one moment Mike Pence saw it and said there was nothing wrong with it. I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, you call yourself a Christian, and that's your mindset.
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him.
Yeah.
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 Look, I mean, whether he does or not, okay. The point is, it's a
what he
rhetoric
wants to
the
do.
right always uses.
Yeah.
Okay, they always use it. They never do it because they need that dangling carrot in front of everyone, and people on the right are so fucking stupid that they don't realize that. Like right now, you'll see Tory voters. So I'll bring it back on. Tory voters will be like, "Yeah, we need to get rid of all these immigrants." I'm like, okay, well, if you defund the Home Office and you shut down all the legal routes, it's people going to come here illegally, which is a lot harder to monitor, a lot harder to keep tabs on, and that's where you get a spike in immigration. It's not fucking rocket science. And I'm not a pro immigration guy. I'm not like every Tom, Dick, and Harry should go in and out of a fucking country, because you end up like my area, which is massively overpopulated and filled with people that don't really do fucking much of anything. And so I'm not like an open door like immigration policy, and a lot of people on the left aren't. We're more like, if you're useful or you're seeking asylum, you're a refugee, then you should come over. But it's not an open door policy. But the right just don't fund it, they don't care, and they need it because it's a dangling carrot for them. And they keep using the rhetoric over and over again. Even if reform gets in, I guarantee you they won't do shit about it, because immigration is a fucking mess. All right? And it's virtually impossible to keep tabs on it. But they'll keep telling you, they'll keep using that rhetoric, and you lot will keep falling for it and attacking immigrants. So, because you don't have a bigger picture understanding of, hang on, it's our side that fucked it all up.
They're not illegal immigrants, they're asylum seekers, dude.
Yeah, or asylum seekers, not illegals. Asylum seekers, and even if they are illegal immigrants, they're illegal because you shut down their ways of getting to here and being processed legally.
No, but this comment here, which is what I was responding, like the point is, have decency. Don't treat them like animals. You know what I mean?
Don't put them in fucking cages.
Cages, for fuck's sake. I mean,
They're not livestock.
If you shut down or decrease the ability for people to come through legally into your country, you're going to cause people to break laws to get in.
Yeah.
If you do it legitimately and have the facilities open and set up, you're going to get people categorized, what trades or jobs they can hold, get them set up so that they can go somewhere and maybe learn English or recertify to become an electrician so they can contribute to your society. Canada has like a 20% first generation foreigners here, and we seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, if you shut down all the legal routes, if you defund your Home Office, you end up with a shit show. And then the right just keep using it over and over again. Then they get voted in, and they further defund the Home Office, and the circle of life continues. And you end up with stupid policies like the Rwanda policy, which went nowhere, cost us a lot of money. And I love the fact that when Keir Starmer came in and said, that's enough of that, Rwanda was like, cheers, but we're keeping the money. I fucking love that. Like,
that was a ridiculous plan.
It was a ridiculous plan.
It was stupid.
But do you know what? I give it I give kudos to Keir Starmer to saying we're not doing that anymore. Enough. And you know what? I might criticize the guy, but even he knew that was fucking ridiculous.
It's all the Tories had, though. They had nothing else. All they could
never
do
do.
is dangle the carrot in front of the racists. They had to push themselves even further right to appeal to a crowd of people that just ditched them for reform anyway. So,
Culture war
It was just
issues is all the
stupid.
right have when it comes to appealing to
yeah, exactly.
to blue collar people.
Because but never mentions state liberties. Give me your tide, your port. Yeah, exactly. They just remember all the and speaking of the culture wars, that kind of bleeds into policies that have no right to bleed into policy. In the let me get this up from Twitter. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I haven't
And
saved.
America was founded on the fact that all these people wanted to get out from underneath the boot of, dictatorship or king, and came here to the United States as immigrants. Yes, there's horrible consequences for the natives, but in the end, you're all immigrants or descendants of immigrants.
Yeah.
And on top
if
of
you're
that,
not sorry, go on, Zach.
and on top of that, once again, if you're going to call yourself Christians, there's a lot of them too who are anti-immigrant. Just remember what it says in your fucking Bible about helping the poor, the needy, the sick, the refugee. No different to what Daniel Barnes said regarding give us your poor and your need and your huddle, your masses, you need to be free. It's all the same shit. Your ideals contradicts your religious beliefs, so you're not being very Christian when you're anti. And TLD, you just can't assume that everyone's looking for safety. No doubt, I get it, dude. But people are leaving war-torn areas because you advertise yourselves as the land of the free, the home of the brave, the greatest country in the world. You are making yourself attractive to all these people to come to your country in the first place. You're calling yourselves all the time the land of the free. They're going, yeah, free, the land of the free. I want to come to the land of the free. And then when they get there, they realize it ain't fucking like that at all.
And it's not the criminals leaving those countries. It's the innocent people that want to escape those criminals that are running the drug cartels.
Yeah.
It's the people that with their entire family walk 2,000 kilometers not knowing if they're going to starve to death or die of dehydration. Think of that work ethic and that amount of determination to get their family away from that kind of violence. I want them as a neighbor. I think they'd be great.
But also, again, this TLD, this comment falls back to what I said earlier. If you had the right policies and procedures and a well-funded home office, you can find all this stuff out. But when you don't, they come over willy-nilly and they just use so let's say, for example, the Albanians, who are a huge fucking pain in the ass, all right? They come over using a Greek passport. They don't get checked. A lot of fake passports or fraud and all this, or they just pay somebody at the offices in Greece. They get a Greek passport. They come over willy-nilly. But because the home office can't be asked to do the background checks, they're just like, yeah, okay, that's it. That it's things like that. If you have the proper things in place to kind of liaise, like if you're talking about bringing in people from areas that have notoriously high crime rates like Bulgaria, Romania, Albania, okay, you should have better systems in place to check with these people, or even with Greece, because people like, Albanians, Bulgarians, Romanians, that will come from Greece with a Greek passport and all this kind of shit. All right. But if you don't have those systems in place, they can get in. And that's the point. And then you start saying, look, immigrants come over and they're all fucking criminals and they're all doing this. And it's just like, well, you don't have the right things in place to check on this stuff. And you could easily deny them. That's what we used to do.
The good ones can't get in. So
and then
it's only the bad ones that come over. And perhaps, I don't know if this is true or not, but wouldn't it be great if having these facilities in place would help prevent or at least lower the amount of human trafficking?
Yeah, Gaz.
But I mean, like, human trafficking has gone up. I'm going to talk about Britain for a minute. I can't talk about America, but it's gone up since what did you was talking about, the funding of the Home Office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone up exponentially every year, and people go, "Oh, we need to end it." It's like the way to end it is to properly fund your home office. Now, the thing is, the way that they're doing it at the moment won't work because they need to tax the rich. And the thing is, whether Keir Starmer will do that, I don't know, but I'm hoping he will because that's the way that you solve it.
Well,
And by the way,
yeah.
Rick B, right? I hate that argument of you wouldn't house them in my house. Well, the fact is, it isn't my responsibility to house them. It's the government. There you go.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We want these people to be treated like normal human beings, and we pay taxes and shit like that. And we want some. I wouldn't mind some of my tax money to look after our fellow human beings, regardless of what part of the fucking planet they come from. This is what I want my tax money to be used to improve people's lives, so that everyone has a shot that improves the economy, improves society. That's the best way to make things happen, regardless of where they fucking come from.
Yeah. You have a low birth rate in your country. You need workers. You need immigration. So do it the right way. Right?
Yeah. And on this one, so look. The rights in Leeds, Muslims and Romanians in Leeds, and Bangladeshis in Whitechapel. The Whitechapel one was stupid because Bangladeshis were rioting because the student got shot in Bangladesh. If they're rioting because a student got shot in Bangladesh, that's stupid. But that's not the only reason, okay? Remember what Keir Starmer's rhetoric was against Bangladeshis, okay? You may have, maybe the media has used that as an excuse, or maybe that's part of it, but the Bangladeshis are pissed off because Keir Starmer said, yeah, I've got no problem deporting them all right? So they're already pissed off. And then what's happening in Bangladesh, all these things culminate the way people are treated. Now, if we go back to, you can't like just say, oh, the Muslims and Romanians. The Muslims, most of them are probably born here, second, third generation. The Romanians, you could argue that, okay, if they've come over and they're causing all this kind of shit. But that's when you take action. You're like, okay, these people are immigrants. They came over. They started a riot because of parental neglect, and they wanted to stop authorities from taking away that kid that had fallen and fractured its fucking skull because the parents were neglectful. That is where you draw the line. That's when the soft shit comes out, and you're like, okay, there's cameras everywhere. Get the faces. If they're not born here, deport them. That's my rhetoric, because I'm like, you shouldn't be coming over here to do shit like that. I'm 100% against that kind of crap. So there you go. Okay, but the Bangladeshi thing, there's more layers to it.
Yeah, just because we want hardworking, the appropriate number of hardworking, someone's breathing.
Guys, keep your phone steady, mate, because you're rustling your mic and it's really loud.
The right amount of immigrants to bolster your country, getting them in the right way, setting them up for success, doesn't mean that if someone's here, even if they went that route and fucks up, that they should get off. They should go to jail and be deported. Yeah, if you're smashing a kid's head in, I don't want you here, immigrant or not.
Yeah, and there has to be an accepting that there are groups of people that do cause more shit where they go. Okay, me and Zam will tell you a million times. All right, gypsies are a massive fucking pain in the ass. My area is full of them. They're a massive pain in the ass. All right. At that point in time, I hate to marginalize groups, but they have to have a stricter processing system in place when coming over from, say, Romania and Bulgaria. Okay, that's just the harsh reality of it. Because when they come here, they're not working. They're just out in the streets begging, doing nothing, and they cause
your wallet.
millions and millions in benefits fraud. Which there was a huge investigation here of something like 58 million pounds worth of, and what was the response by the government with that, which, although harsh, I think it was the right thing to do. They said, fine, fuck it. If you're Bulgarian, you're not getting universal credit. And I was just like, yep, that's affected a lot of families. But at the end of the day, when a large portion of them are coming over and doing this kind of fraud, the best reaction is, okay, blanket, and then you have to build your trust back up kind of thing. you know,
Which
you,
is
you
too,
can't be too soft on things.
which is too bad because I was in Bulgaria, and despite the fact that it's a former Russian satellite, it, and the buildings were crap. It's a beautiful place, and a lot of the people are very nice, but it's the
Bulgarians,
ones that take advantage that ruin
yeah,
it for everyone.
it's the ones out in the sticks and the gypsy population, okay, and the kind of Turkish population, all of that. They're the ones that have been, because they've had generations of being subjected to discrimination and violence and poverty. They're desperate. So I understand they're coming from, but I don't want them coming here and then just not contributing anything and just contributing more to the crime kind of thing. And I'm not saying that for because the Bulgarians that come from like the cities or the kind of uh, less kind of hick town areas, less from the south, more from the kind of north. They're the ones that come over here because they want to work, they want to contribute, they want their better life and all that. Well, no, I know a shitload of them, and Bulgarians in general are just fucking lovely people.
Yeah, and the gypsies have had a horrible past, but once you make it to, say, like a place like the UK, I'm sure you're going to face racism, but you're not going to be barred from working. You're
Don't
not
worry,
going to be
Sam, I'll come to
barred
you.
from buying a house. You're not going to be barred from schools. Like,
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
you should notice that there's a difference and that you don't have to bump into people and steal their wallets or rip them off with fake perfume, you know,
Yeah,
in the
Zam.
street.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right, a few things. We pay government where would you house them? Hotel, social housing. For a start, if you live in London, Rick B, there's fucking buildings and housings and properties popping up everywhere. They're building them as we speak. There's plenty of places to house all the fucking homeless people in this city alone. Yeah. And we need to get these people back on their feet and make them productive members of society. It's no good having homeless people anywhere because you know what's happening? They're increasing. So the governments are doing something wrong if homeless people are increasing, and it's up to them to fix it and getting these people, giving these people an opportunity, to recover from the depression of the lives that the shitty lives that they're in, is fundamental. Getting them back on their feet, giving them that opportunity, is where I want my fucking tax money to go. Honestly, I really do. In TLD, you can't think your tax money is magic to back everything okay about everything. Well, there's some places where I wouldn't want my tax money to go in at all, like the fucking royal family. You know what I mean? Those motherfuckers can get a job like everyone else and pay taxes like everyone else. All these fucking foreign wars that we're giving our money to Israel as well. Fuck that. I'd rather go back to um, to helping people within the United Kingdom. Subsidies to the rich, which was something that was happening a lot under the Conservatives. No more people like Elon Musk. I'm not sure if he was taking money from our government too, Ginger. But if that was the case, then
Probably. I don't know.
then it shouldn't happen. And once you,
I know Google and Microsoft take a shitload of subsidies from our government.
well, there you go, and those guys are minting money. Yeah, so you turn the tap off on those motherfuckers, and you put it towards the people that need it the most, which are the desperate poor people in society who just need an opportunity, a hand up, not necessarily a handout. Things are going to improve. We can't give it to people who don't fucking need it, and we can't constantly be funding wars. We all live together, for fuck's sake. And to call Bulgarians or the Mexicans is not right, dude. You know what I mean? You almost it's insulting to Mexicans as well, because there's nothing wrong in fucking being Mexican. There's nothing wrong with in being Bulgarian. There is a culture issue regarding gypsies, which is what Ginger Greek brought up, but not every fucking Bulgarian is a gypsy, for fuck's sake.
No.
You know what I mean?
They're a small minority, but they flooded in my area in droves, and they're a fucking nuisance. They are, but that's them, and a small contingent of pockets from certain regions in Bulgaria. Like I said before, ones that come from different regions are not. They've got the same mentality as Polish people, just fucking work their bollocks off and things like that.
And I need to continue. Like what Zam says is nice and everything, but it's not reality. What's who's going to build? Look, new houses should definitely go to people who are living in squalor right now and need an upgrade in life. At the same time, people who are living on the fucking streets can take those old houses that which is better than nothing at all. People, these things can be a reality if you make it a reality. But right now, it's not. That's not the way, because our government is designed not necessarily to help the poor people. We have to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps mentality, whilst rich people deserve a fucking chance not to be too big to fail, and that shit is ridiculous. You got to stop fucking helping people who don't need it and help people who do.
Yeah, Christine.
Even if we take the empathy side out of the equation, I don't like doing that, but for argument's sake, let's take the empathy side out of the equation and just look at the numbers, because the biggest complaint is it's costing us too much money. You're taking my taxpayers' money. Well, there's two parts to this. Like you've already touched on somewhat. There's the big companies, government grants going to billionaires and companies that are making record-breaking profits. So we're giving them, in a sense, welfare, right?
Yeah.
And they
the
don't
biggest welfare queens are the rich.
Yeah. And they're getting like 99% of the welfare, where you're complaining about a group of people that are probably receiving 1% of that welfare. But if we were to increase that even just a little bit, what we do is we get those people out of the streets, we get them clean, we get them some training, we get them stable, we get them mental health needs if that's what they need, and we get them into an apartment, into a job. And guess what? That spending that we did up front, that maybe extra 1%, now isn't needed anymore. In fact, that 1% that we were spending before could probably be cut in half to 0.5%. Because we've solved the problem, or at least put a huge dent in it. So from a financial standpoint, it's actually a better idea to address this problem, invest some money now up front, because in the long run, it saves money.
And if you take more money away from the billionaires by taxing them, guess what? They can't invest in arms companies that blow up these other fucking countries that these people have to fucking run away from in the first place. Which is the core point of the argument.
Bingo.
That pisses me off. They keep thinking about our country, us. Well, what the fuck are we doing to those other countries? Okay? Yep. If you don't understand what we're doing, you could just look at fucking Ukraine and Palestine. All right? Where are those people going? They're coming here because we're the ones blowing them up. So they come to here because they know they're not gonna get blown up here. But
and
they
it's not
to the next door country. Sorry, Christine, go on.
It's not just there. That's the sad part, is we are so blind, because there's the Congo, what's going on there right now. There's several countries that there's a shadow war going on,
mate,
where they use the people on the ground there to fight, because first world nations just want, their lithium for our batteries. So they make the locals hate each other and say, oh, why don't you guys have like a civil war? I mean, not outright say it like that, but cause it. So it's not just those two countries.
No.
It's almost everywhere.
It's half of Africa. So you've got the Sudan, you've got Somalia, you've got Congo, you've got Niger, you've got I can't remember, but there's other countries that the US, is and the Russians are having proxy wars.
Yeah.
All right, because they want the resources. None of them are your friend, but the ones that the Russians are backing are the ones that say the Russians are just like, look, just get the Americans out, we'll cut you a better deal. Whether they do that or not, I'd rather countries had complete autonomy and didn't have to deal with the Russians or the fucking Chinese or the Americans.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit there and lick the bottom of the Chinese just because of their Belt and Road Initiative, because I'm anti-American. I'm like, no, countries should have complete control, but the problem is they've been so fucked in the ass by the IMF that they have no choice but to turn to another superpower to kind of help rebuild their country. Okay, the IMF, high interest rates, high privatization means a greater percentage of your GDP is just going off to pay the interest rates of the loan, which leaves your country chronically poor and underinvested. So they turn to China, and China say, like, tell you what, don't worry about it. You give us your resources, we'll build you better roads. And America's way of dealing with that is, of course, we're going to
Blowing
pay a
them up.
bunch of militias, war, destabilize the country. Nobody gets anything. And then the Russians were like, don't worry about it, China. We got this. We'll do the same as the Americans. And here we are. And Israel plays a massive part in this as well. The whole shit that's going on in the Congo, a lot of it is to do with Israel as well, because they own some of the mines and they are arming a lot of people as well.
And that's the sad part, is that these countries should have their own, choice and power over their own resources. Because the Chinese or other countries might come in and say, we'll do some infrastructure work. But as soon as they bleed that country dry, they're not doing any more work. They're not maintaining those roads they built. And that country has nothing that they produce to transport on those roads to a port to sell.
And they end up owning your ports, and they end up owning parts of your infrastructure and your companies as well. Yes. China not fucking perfect, but unfortunately for these countries, it's the better of the two deals.
Yes.
They're between a rock and a hard place. Okay. It's like Greece, for example. The EU's just like austerity. Greece is like, okay, but we need to invest. And EU's like, no, fuck you, just sell it all off. So the Greeks are like, all right, we'll sell it off to the Chinese. We'll sell it off to the Russians. And Greece owns practically nothing. It's all owned by the fucking Germans and the Russians and the Chinese and the Arabs. And this is the grand plan of the billionaire class. For you to never own anything, serfdom, a return to serfdom, okay? Feudalism and serfdom, where you work to live, and that's it. They don't want you to retire. They don't want you to have a fucking pension. And this fucking country in the UK, Labour are like, literally not even one day in government, and they're like, we're not going to build council houses. We're going to leave it up to the private sector. And we've seen the state of the private sector and how they build houses. It's garbage. It ends up costing more because councils then have to help bail them out or do the repairs and all this kind of shit. And it's expensive. And also, Labour are in bed with BlackRock, who want to buy up our property. So we're going to have private equity firms owning everything. And if you want your private equity firm to own everything, let me tell you a little story about a thing called Toys R Us. Toys R Us was making huge profits when it shut down. Why did it shut down? Because when a private equity firm buys up a company, it saddles that company with the debt. And no matter what it makes, all the profits, the shareholders keep the profits and then trickle down a little bit to the business, or none at all, to the point where it goes bankrupt. So they don't buy a lot of these businesses when they're doing badly. They buy them when they're doing really well, and then they end up bankrupting them. And that's how Toys R Us went down. But that is a prime example of how private equities work. You're seeing it with Sainsbury's. You're seeing it with Argos. Argos was making profit. They still shut down all the shops and shoved them into like your Sainsbury's. Specsavers shoved them into Sainsbury's. All owned by one big private equity firm. Your housing will be like that as well. They're going to be run down. They're going to be jacking up your rent. And if you can't pay it, you're going to be out in the streets. There's going to be no homeless service because the councils won't have enough money. There won't be any council houses. And you're fucked. It's in America now. I think BlackRock, I don't know what percentage, Vance, if you could do the numbers for me, what percentage of housing BlackRock and Jeff Bezos owns as well. Okay? It's to bring us back to serfdom, to make you slaves and to never rise because you'll lose everything. That's the end game.
Can I get a word in, please?
Yes, Sam, go on. Sorry,
please,
mate.
I'm begging you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. For a start, Rick B turned immigrants into crackheads, which I like the response from Daniel Vance thing. I love how he went from immigrants to crackheads. He said, would you build a house and let the crackheads in the park move in? I would build a house and I would let the crackheads move in from the park and make them understand that what they're going through now is rehab. Because you think crackheads want to stay crackheads and living on the park? Of course not. They want to get out of the fucking the hellhole that they're in, and they know that they need to get off the shit that they're fucking addicted to, and you give them the opportunity and to do that.
You then me, yeah.
Then that's going to happen, and that's and TLD numerically explain how the numerically explain how these plans are going to work. Well, once again, if money goes towards helping the poorest people in society, then instead of going towards the rich and our royal family and wars, then that's one of the ways numerically how it will work. We have plenty of housing. We have ways of we have the infrastructure in plan to get poor people and crack addicts off the street, and vibrant members of our society. But we need to invest in that instead of fucking investing in other things that make no sense. And Rick B, Sky News said, there was a report from Calais interviewed illegal immigrants on the beach, and majority said they are told life is easy in the UK and you get free money, and almost all of them were single men. Well, let me tell you something, Rick B. If I was told that I could go to another country and get free money and life was fucking easy, I'd fucking make a beeline for that fucking country myself. These people have been fed shit, and they've been fed a lie to get to the UK in the first place. They've been fed a dream because they come from a squalor. They want an easy life. I don't blame them. We should have an easy life. And if they get money as well, there are countries that actually pay their citizens. I think Switzerland do it for a start. So these things are not necessarily impossible, but if you've been fed that lie and these people are fighting through tooth and nail to get there, it's not their fault that they were lied to, dude. They want a better life. If they've been lied to that UK is a better life, then it's unfortunate that they've been lied to, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all.
Okay, Chris. Sorry, Zam, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Christine.
Okay, I don't know who was talking about having them move into a house with you, crackheads. I don't think you'd mind having me as your neighbor or as a housemate, right? Yeah, good morning. You wouldn't really. Well, guess what? I'm coming up on my 7th anniversary, crack and heroin free, August 21st.
Well done.
Thank you. And we never said that you take a crackhead off the street and put them in a house with someone else. Of course, you'll have enough money, if done right, to put someone through drug and alcohol rehab centers. It took 3 months, but I did it in an inpatient program, and I came out sober. So this whole, I don't want a crackhead moving into my house with me, is just a bullshit argument that makes you look small-minded, ignorant, purposefully ignorant, by the way. That's all.
And these guys know me. You guys all know me, especially Bossman and Ginger. Know me as an ex-fucking drug addict myself. And they've seen me turn my life around for the better, I guarantee it. It can be done. As somebody who was weltering away, who was just doing nothing, just living day after day for no reason, I've got rid of drugs. I've got money in my bank account now because I'm not on fucking drugs anymore. I've got these beautiful birds with me. They are my fucking children. I have, life is so much more
I'll come to you
meaningful
guys.
than it has been, and these guys can vouch for it from what I once was to what I am now.
And you might think, oh, it's only weed, but it made a huge difference. Like,
cigarettes a lot.
It was insufferable also a lot of the times, like that snap like that. But since you stopped smoking weed, it's like night and day. It's as simple as that. It's night and day. Guys.
Yeah, I hate this argument of would you left next to X? It's like, well, if it's people trying to better themselves and they'd had a hard life and they just got into that lifestyle, again, ask crackheads how they get into it. It isn't just a simple, I want to do this for fun. It's literally, for some of them, it's just one bit of morphine or one bit of whatever, and they're hooked because they love the euphoria. It gives them out of the pain or emotional trauma that they're going through. It gives them the release. Now, the thing is, a lot of them, like, I think, again, Christine, I don't want to talk for you, but it's a release for the pain they're going through, but they realize it's a crutch. Okay, it's a crutch that they go through, and they want to get help. Now, Christine's got her help, and what's wrong with other people getting their help, and what's wrong with them moving next to you while they do it? Again, if they come out of that, tax-paying, good members of society. Surely that's better than them being wasted on the street looking for the next hit, which is what we don't want. So surely,
And prostituting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And somebody and regardless of what I was addicted to, my life revolved around it.
Exactly.
My life revolved around it. I would finish work early so I could get it. I kept thinking about getting home and just getting high. All of this shit, routinely smoke one. Oh, about to do a stream. Can't do a stream until I get high first. You know what I mean? All of these sort of things, like, can't go to bed until I have a joint. All of these things. Can't wake up now. I have to have a joint when I wake up. All of these things. Like, it was so ingrained in my life, and in the idea of doing anything, like even when I hanged around on a couple of occasions, I hanged around with James prior to me coming off. Like, I would have to smoke a joint first. We're going to see a wrestling show, smoke a joint first. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be done. It was so it caged me. Like not having this routine anymore. And even when I gave up weed, smoking just generally, even cigarettes and stuff like that, like the routine of it, I'm so glad I don't do any of that anymore. It's not just for the sake of my health or my mentality, but my fucking wallet. My God, I've got money, like just to have money now. You know what I
That's
mean?
the number one reason I didn't do drugs. I'm a fucking
Yeah.
cheapskate.
Yeah, like if these crackheads weren't blowing their money on that, they would have money for themselves.
Yeah.
To improve their lives. Like it all starts with getting them off it and putting them in some housing.
Yeah.
That's how it begins.
You get
Yeah.
pretty industrious trying to find money as someone who does drugs. So you have drive and you have the ability to problem solve and get money. So if that got refocused into something productive, oh my God.
Yeah, I just
And-
want to go to this comment here.
Okay.
Again, I'm sorry, TLD, but when it comes to your country, it's a whole other kettle of fish because you don't have the facilities, or you just let people rot in the streets. So
You're veterans for a start.
yeah, I could totally get, but I don't want to shit on you because I could totally get where you're coming from. But that's because you have to understand the why rather than the thing. In the UK, it's obviously now with the fucking cost of living crisis, everything's gotten worse. So yeah, drug use is up because disparity, and you need to numb the pain from the disparity and all this kind of shit. But once upon a time, what we used to have bed sits for people like this. Stick them in a bed sit, give them as much help as you can, and there's very many good success stories. And I can give you a prime example. I work for a charity. I never disclose publicly who I work for, but we work with other charities that help these kind of people. And a lot of the times, I speak to a lot of these people as well, just because of I do like workshops to kind of help people kind of gain more like understanding of financial services and what's available to them and all this kind of stuff. So I go to these places that have people that were huge drug addicts, and the core fundamental thing for these drug addicts is, number one, they have a sense of community in these groups. They have a sense of belonging. It's something very simple. Their life isn't perfect. They still have issues and relapses, but they know they have a safety net that they can go to. And quite a huge chunk of those people either work for those organizations now or have gone off and gone to the better places because they've received jobs, training, and all that. And believe it or not, we do offer that to people here who are unemployed. There are a lot of job training schemes and all this kind of stuff. So when you have the facilities, you can get there. It's not going to work all the time. Some people just have the mentality of, I just want to get fucked up, leave me alone, and fuck the world, and I'll still, and all this kind of. Nobody's perfect. But when you have the facilities in place, you can get a lot of those people off. Portugal is a good example of that. They decriminalized drugs. They've helped a lot of fucking people, and it's been a huge success story. Christine.
So this argument is it doesn't always work. So because it doesn't always work, then I shouldn't have gone to rehab. I shouldn't own a home now, contribute by paying a mortgage and buy groceries, and the economy. I wouldn't be here to look out for my army buddy, who I've known since I was 18, who has post-traumatic stress disorder, who lives in the house but stays outside in his truck all the time. I couldn't be here to keep an eye on him. My elderly uncle wouldn't have a place to stay and have someone, just keep an eye on him. But yeah, it doesn't always work every time, so we just shouldn't bother.
Yeah,
right?
she's the, excuse the terminology I'm going to use, it's just for a joke. She's the junkie that's housing clean people or people with stress disorders.
Yeah.
So it's the reverse of Rick B. But across the roads, we have bed sits. Okay, that they're not council houses; it's privately owned, but they rent it out to the council. And we just had a group of crackheads that moved in, and I have an Irish neighbor. I fucking love this guy. He took one look at them. He goes, "Oh, you look like fucking crackheads. So I'll tell you this once: you're welcome here, but if you break any of my shit, if you break into any of these cars or any of these houses, I'm going to fucking kill you. I've told you once, I won't tell you again." They're like, "Oh, mate, so good. Don't worry." I was pissing myself laughing. I love that guy. He's a beast. He's like 8 foot tall, and he just doesn't mess around. But they're lovely. You know what I mean? They've got a safe place. They were happy. They have a safe space. I've told them contact these certain charities if you need any extra help. So the food bank is around the corner. Every Saturday, go there, all this kind of shit. But they were just happy to have a clean, stable place. They were living in squalor before that. They're not going to be perfect, but at least they have something.
I'm not, I don't want to compare trauma, because sometimes I feel guilty, like my life wasn't bad enough to be a reason for me to use drugs, but I know it was. I was assaulted my life. I had a traumatic back injury that first got me hooked on the drugs. I mean, up until 36, I didn't take drugs, but then Big Farm got me hooked. But there are people out there that grew up in homes where they were beaten, sexually assaulted, not loved, never told they were loved, didn't have access to clean clothing or real education, and they're numbing this trauma by using drugs. What if we uplifted them? They don't want to feel pain, so they use drugs. So what if we tell them to stop using drugs? They're just going to feel pain, right? So what if at the same time we get a situation going where they feel secure, like you said, where they feel like they have opportunities, where they feel like they're a valuable member of society and worthwhile? It'll be easier for them not to take those drugs, because the drug's a mask for the pain.
Yeah. And I just want to go to this comment here because, again, TLD, you have a good point. I'm not saying it does work. I'm saying I'm saying America isn't set up to actually help people. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, mate. And I'm talking from a country that is, despite everything, as set up as it can be to help people and of the success stories. But you're spot on, and I'm not going to argue with that, because. And that's why, I'll say people like you. That's why people like you, I hate to say that, but what I mean, think that there's no hope for these people, that there's just scum of the earth. Because if you don't have systems in place to help these people, and the thing is, there are a lot of factors. It's not just poverty that plays a part, because shocking. What's the word? Spoiler alert.
Horror.
There we go. No, spoiler alert. Rich people are bigger drug addicts than poor people.
Yep.
They just have the money to go and check into rehab. Okay?
Yep.
Simple as that.
And to get out of jail and not get the record so they can keep working.
Exactly.
And of course, you don't think it's going to work. Your government lies to you. Those rich people lie to you, say, oh, the money.
I'll come to you next time. Don't worry.
There's too much. That would take too much money because they want the welfare. The rich people, the government.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, Zam.
No problem. In the previous conversation, for every successful story, there are at least two stories that go wrong. Can't focus on one story. Well, there's two stories that went right for a start, TLD. And secondly, when it comes to anything we do in this world, whether it be maybe going for a driving test, not every majority of people are going to pass, I guess. You know, it took me several attempts to pass, but there are going to be people out there for love of money who are going to fail. But are we going to stop giving driving tests to people because some people fail? Of course not. You know, there are some people who will never get off the wagon. I mean, Gordon Ramsay has a brother who's a drug addict, and he's put his brother, he's got the money to do so, through rehab countless times, and he constantly relapses. All the, he's unfortunately somebody who can't be helped. But because of him, you should treat everyone else the same and not try to help anybody else. Of course not. You know, there are going to be people who will never unfortunately recover, but that's not everybody. And it's fundamental that regardless of people who do fail the system, we shouldn't put everyone in that same bracket. It's fundamental that we give everyone an opportunity to get themselves out of shit. You know, and so and this is once again, this is where I want my tax money to go to. These sort of things. If it improves society, it's always going to be better for everybody.
And also, if you have a good education system, you don't have a system where you just plunge into abject poverty. Okay, good job opportunities, an industry that isn't in fucking China and is actually at home that we used to have. You know, I was telling the boys about my area and how big an industry it used to have. And I'm talking about electronics that you all fucking used, like an ATM machine, like a Ferguson television, okay, and fucking rifles and all this kind of shit. And Thatcher just shut it all down. They were just, neoliberalism came in. It's just like, anyway, we're just going to ship it all off abroad. Yep. All right. And that's devastated this area. We used to be a perfectly affluent area with plenty of jobs and all this kind of shit. Now you look at the jobs, they're all fucking shit or 0 hours contract or pay absolute peanuts. People can't afford it. So if you get rid of all those elements, okay, you lessen the amount of people. And I guarantee you, the number of rich people taking drugs will still be high, but the number of poor people will be minimal to nothing because there won't be fucking poor people.
Yeah.
All right. So stop blaming. Also, stop thinking the poor are always like the bad guys.
The good thing is you mentioned China, because China is a great example of a country that is invested in its infrastructure, in its people, in its education system. All of these things. There were some great video shots of how the kids are in school when it comes to things that our kids I can't even imagine doing because of the way they treat and train their children. And the infrastructure in China is second to none. I mean, they are a very futuristic looking country, and that's because the government invests in that fucking country. They invest in their country. They don't invest into people to hoard cash and never fucking spend it. You know, they give it to back to society.
Yeah,
and China's improving big time, and they're going to become the superpower for sure.
Don't forget the New Deal that what built America after the Depression, the greatest government investment in infrastructure, in jobs, and all of that. The UK, when we built the country after the war, the greatest investment in this country ever, that built all the council houses. Okay, you know, people could afford a house. People had good paying jobs and all this kind of shit. So, for example, a house will cost you £7,000-8,000, but you're making £3,000 to £4,000 a year. You're paying that house off in no time. Okay, it's not like now. So
you fucked up your numbers. You said £6,000 for a house and $3,000 a year.
Yeah. So in the 60s,
no, the house price was right, but the income, you said $3,000
a year. Yeah, in the 60s.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Not now.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. So like, I'm just going. Yeah. So yeah, like in the 60s, you know, if you had a good paying job, you're earning £3,000 a year. Your house costs like £7,000 or £8,000. You're paying that off in no time.
Yeah.
So the Thatcherism came in, it's just like, fuck all that. You know, your house just went 450, 600 to £1 million, and you're still earning £20,000.
Yeah.
You're earning less now than your parents were 50 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. and that's just created this whole mess of society left behind, no good paying jobs, mass poverty. We deindustrialize a lot of this country, and this is where you end up with garbage. You know,
I
so,
agree.
yeah.
I agree with Zam. I want my taxes to be spent on people in society that need it. Rich people don't need it. They're making record profits, so there is enough money there. No one's taxes needs to go up, so that's not a problem. So that shouldn't be an argument. Like Ginger said, if we've got the building blocks, and at an early age, children are, have school, lunches if they need it, good education, are taught to be, great members of society, like in China, where the kids actually clean their classroom because that, they take pride in their environment and working as a team. Future problems, it's always find the problem before it starts. Nip it in the bud if you can, because what is it, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yeah,
that's the saying.
Yeah.
And there was one other point I wanted to make, but I forget.
Like you mentioned the Chinese, the Japanese as well. Like they made headwaves in the last World Cup because what they always did is that after every match they would clean the fucking stadium. They'll pick up all the trash that has been left behind and they'll clean. I couldn't believe it, and I almost wish like there's elements of culture that are so important and needs to be something that we all fucking do. I can't. There's no chance that will ever fucking happen, unfortunately, anytime soon. Let's just say that. But I envy the Japanese because it kind of shows that there's a level of respect that they're willing to do shit like that.
I never left popcorn behind.
Yeah,
as a kid, we always picked up our own garbage. Now I see kids leave shit behind all the time.
In Greece, somebody else would slap us if we made a mess of the beach.
Yeah.
Like in Greece, they took such great pride of the beaches. You'd have all the old beaters sitting there cleaning it up or yelling at kids to make sure they don't drop their litter. And that's why the beaches are always clean and had a blue flag. But to Zam's point about Japan and China, that's because these people are raised on collectivism, not individualism. They know that you work together to better your society. Unfortunately for Japan, they still have hardcore neoliberal capitalism, which is absolutely destroying their country. Believe it or not, they're in constant recession. Their population is decreasing.
They're misogynistic as fuck as well.
Yeah, they're misogynistic as fuck. They have, they're just embedded with like kind of right wing ideology and all this kind of shit. But take that aside, they have amongst themselves in their own, society, homogenistic society, collectivism. They all work together. Their recycling isn't just there's the blue bin, chuck all my recycling in there. No, in Japan, it's to say you go down here and you separate this to this. Your plastic bottles go there, your tins go there, your this goes there. You have to wash it all and all that. Okay.
Paper labels come off the cans.
Exactly. They do recycling proper. Here what we do is we say, this is recyclable. You chuck it in your blue bin. Then we put it in a nice big fat, juicy, sexy shipping container and fuck it off to Africa. And we'll fine you if you put a packet of crisps in with your recyclables. It's not recyclable because it's like food waste. So, that's how we tackle collectivism. We just ship it off to the old colonies instead. Okay.
Can we move on to the power outage and then TikTok
yes, I was
treasures?
just going to say we can move on, Zam. So whatever you want, mate. TikTok treasures, power outage.
Power outage is something because honestly, I had no idea regarding this power outage. I'm still coming to terms with it because I woke up today and just did my work as usual. And then the first customer I picked up was telling me about Heathrow power outages. I'm thinking to myself, I got to pick up somebody after you and take them to the airport. Hope that's not going to affect my job because I hope they're still going to be able to go to the airport. Fortunately, they did. But then I brought up the power outage thing to my customer, and apparently this shit is global and it's to do with Microsoft, and a lot of people apparently have Microsoft basically is like the bare bones, is like the circuit board for software, all over the fucking world. And if Microsoft fucks up, a variety of different software fucks up, including the software that is used to basically keep an account on planes all over the fucking world. But this was like a global outage. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I personally never felt the effects, other than some of the shares I had kind of went down until they went back up again. But other than that, do you guys know how much of an issue this was? Because I wasn't able to tell.
The only way I found out about it, I tried to book an appointment through the NHS app, and it said there was nothing available. So I just thought, okay, just probably like no appointments available, even though I didn't want it for the day. But it didn't dawn on me about Microsoft until I started seeing memes pop up on my Facebook feed. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I went on Twitter and found out. But other than that, I didn't notice, And I just want, on that, it's another thing that really pisses me off, how like Microsoft has people in the palm of their hands. Like all these countries use Microsoft. It's like the UK used to have its own kind of IT system that was phenomenal, and then we sold it to Microsoft. And there was a great company in my area called Metaswitch that sold itself off to Microsoft. It's like Microsoft has too much of a monopoly on IT, and when it goes wrong, this is what happens when you have monopolies. One place, one fuck up. If this was just in America, and Microsoft only ran in America, it would have just happened in America. I'm not singling out America. I'm just saying it's an American company, all that. If every other country had its own systems, we wouldn't have had this mess.
Was NHS affected? Because can you imagine?
Yeah, GP appointments and GP surgeries were massively affected by the outage.
Can you imagine, though, if someone's on life support?
Well, not to that. It's more booking systems that were affected and things like that. But it's still... It's just horrible.
A lot of Excel spreadsheets got fucked up, basically. So, rest in peace to all these celebrities. Richard Simmons, he's a bit like your guy. He's a bit like people like Bob Barker. He's more renowned in your part of the woods than ours, but we have seen him before. Shannon Doherty was a bit of a shock because she was very young, 53 for fuck's sake, But she and Luke Perry are back together again, I guess. Bob Newhart, not so sure who he is.
Only thing I know about Bob Newhart, the only thing I knew about Bob Newhart was his cameo in The Simpsons when Krusty died, or Leading Gums Murphy died, or whatever.
Rest of this any credibility of the RNC, but you know what, Hulk Hogan and the RNC, for Christ's sake, like. Talk about the heel turn of heel turns, dude. I mean, him going in there. And, people like him and Donald Trump, they have more in common than they realize, because there are a couple of people who want to stay relevant and have a ton of fucking baggage and basically try to consider themselves to be American idols, which he has done in the past, Hulk Hogan. But people could see right through him. And as far as I'm concerned, by aligning himself with Trump, he has alienated himself now. There would have been a lot of people who would have loved him. Truly loved him, but this is something that
he won't be going back to WWE anytime soon. Gary.
Well, you say that, but like Vince McMahon and all of his cronies used to work a lot with Donald Trump. I don't know if that's
but they're not there anymore. That's the whole point.
All right, but I would say like the whole Hulk Hogan thing is just like pathetic. It's like. How can I keep myself relevant? I know. I'll go to the Republican National Convention
and rip my shirt and shit.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's what? How's Hulk Hogan? 50?
That's 71. 50?
No, 75.
He's in his 70s, dude.
Not 70s. 60.
He's in his 70s, man. Check it out. I guarantee you.
Definitely not in the 50s.
To say he's in his 50s, that means he would have been
70.
To say in his 50s, he would have been 10 years old when he was wrestling in fucking WrestleMania, dude. Think about it. For fuck's sake.
That is 70. You can't hate Hogan because he's got a different political... No, I hate Hogan because Terry Bollea is a fucking
Why
piece of
not?
shit. I love his mannerisms,
No,
and there are aspects of his ridiculousness that we enjoyed, but he's a cunt.
No, hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. You can't hate Hogan just because of his different political opinions. No, I can hate Hogan for his different political opinions. I stopped talking to people because of their political opinions, dude. What the fuck? You know?
And you gotta understand that Hogan helped Trump with that whole setup the other day when his ear got shattered by the glass. So
Everyone
he
looked
could,
like
like,
they got
you know,
teabagged.
fake blood pump his arm up. Moment, that was WWE all the way, man.
That's right, man. That's
Hogan
right.
doesn't know best on this particular occasion. But okay, are you guys ready? I know this is your favorite part of the fucking show.
Let's
Are-
rock and
are-
roll, baby.
Okay, let's find where I need to find. Here we go.
Sam's TikTok treasures.
There's so many things to talk about, but I had a real beauty here. This is let's start with this one because I think this is really fundamentally important, especially for people like Rick B, who love the worst people in society, and
I'm going to have the headlines.
Wait,
And that's all it seems.
I paused you for fuck's sake. Okay, let's start this again. This is obviously to do with Nigel Farage. Now he's he's the guy who fucking runs Clacton because he won that particular seat. And these are the people of Clacton talking about it. Check it out.
Nigel's come in and said, "I want the headlines. I'm going to have the headlines," and that's all it seems to me. He got the headlines of being the reform candidate for Clacton. He got the headlines that he won, and that was all he wanted. He's not interested in Clacton.
It's ridiculous.
Why is that?
Because he should be here. There's so many problems around here that he should be dealing with. Especially he wanted to be the MP of Clacton, and he's not nowhere.
You've just become MP of Clacton, and the first thing you decide to do is fly off to the US. It's not great at all, is it?
Because he hasn't got to deal with the problems if he's not here. If he's not here to deal with them, then we just stay like we are in this town.
What I think is, he's gone over there because there's more exciting things happening over there for him than there is over here. A man like he's not a man of the people. He makes himself out as a man of the people, but really, he's a grouse shooter cosplaying as a man of the people. Do you know what I mean?
There's homeless people everywhere. There's crime. There's so many things that he could help with. There's people in desperate need of houses and stuff like this. The area just needs money put into it.
Nigel's.
So he's no different to a lot of right-wing politicians because when it comes to helping your people, you know, the people that really need the help in your area, like maybe what happened in Texas and when it was covered in snow, you know what right-wing politicians do? They fuck off. You know, they go to either Cancun or in Nigel Farage's case, they go to, you know, they go to America where they can brown nose Donald Trump and not help the very people who put you in power in the first place, because that requires work. You can't be an exhibitionist when you have to actually do work. You want to be an exhibitionist, you'll be in front of the camera and grandstand and fucking talk a whole bunch of shit. But you've won your position, Nigel. Now do the fucking work and make things better. But he doesn't want to fucking do that, which is why he's fucked off to America.
Well, if people don't vote him out at the next election or force a by-election because he's not representing his constituency, then, as I've always said, once I say it a million times, fuck Clacton. Because there's stupid idiots out there as well. They keep voting Conservative or UKIP. They keep voting for like literally the worst fucking people, and it's just like, how stupid are you?
UKIP?
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, you know, it was a fucking UKIP area for a point.
That's the problem, Zam. You have to accept that problem that people have. Yeah, I do accept people have different opinions. Doesn't mean I do understand that people have different opinions, and I accept it because I know they have it. I don't have to agree with it, and I can criticize it. He's a ground shooter. I'm not a Brit, but even I thought the cut down in that one. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
fucking
you know
funny.
it, mate.
That
You
was
know
a
what a
fucking.
grouse shooter is.
That was a fucking line. And I just thought we'd start with that one because I just want people to always know that Nigel Farage is a world class dickhead.
I've
Now-
got one that you'll love whenever you want, and it's to do with the RNC.
Okay. Now,
Is it that one?
What's that?
Is it this one?
No. It's somebody that was not invited.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah.
a leopard's ate my face thing.
yeah. Now, I look at this guy for me. Look. My joke is that this is Rey Mysterio without the mask. Yeah, and I like this dude. He used to be a pastor. Now he's actually questioning his religious beliefs and stuff like that. He's very cool, and I think he's got something to talk about regarding the shooting that happened to Donald Trump last week.
Do you know what's the one thing that none of these Trump supporters, pendejos and huelebichos, will never understand about their orange 34 times convicted fellow, mi gente? That he doesn't really give a fuck about any of them. Case in point, mi gente. He has yet to reach out to the family members of the firefighter who was shot and killed at his rally on Saturday. Why? Because he was too fucking busy playing golf on Sunday. Do you know who ended up reaching out to his widow, mi gente? Sleepy the fuck Joe Biden. That's right. When will they ever get that that's exactly who their orange savior really is? But hey, I guess he really needs to hit home first for them to finally and eventually understand it. Unfortunately, by then it is too fucking late. Stay woke, mi gente.
Love this guy.
Okay.
Love this fucking guy.
That
I
accent
just gotta
is
add something
fucking
really quick.
fantastic. Yeah, go on.
And this belongs here. Not only did he delay reaching out to the widow and the daughter of that gentleman that died, he had time to put out merchandise, including a set of sneakers that he's charging $290 for. And it's just wrapped in American shit and him, defeating a bullet so he can make money for himself, plus a t-shirt. Before he even took 5 minutes, he should have gone to see her. They lived in the same city where he got shot. But let alone he couldn't take 5 minutes to call her. And
That
the sad
firefighter-
thing is, she didn't pick up.
I'm sorry.
and-
Hang on, Christine. Are you telling me that Donald Trump doesn't care about people?
No, I was just joking.
Oh, gonna
No,
say,
but that,
And
That-
Biden, she didn't even pick up his phone call because they're so brainwashed.
Yeah.
Still.
yeah.
well, no, that firefighter died because the guy was trying to kill Donald Trump. He died. He took a bullet that was meant for fucking Donald Trump.
Yes.
And that's very unfortunate. Biden reached out to this person, did the right thing as president of the United States, and that's the sort of thing you expect him to do. Donald Trump didn't give a shit. Unfortunately, though, what Rey Mysterio was saying is that these guys are so fucking brainwashed that what I heard from other sources is that even though Biden reached out to them, they are so on the Trump bandwagon that regardless of Trump not reaching out to them, they're still going to support Donald Trump, even though their fucking husband died, because that bullet was meant for Trump and not for him.
So, firstly, with this one, Trump has raised 7 million meters for firefighters' family. I guarantee you there's going to be some scrutiny there where that 7 million doesn't get to the firefighters. And secondly, this is called a reaction response to being ousted as somebody who doesn't give a fuck because you got shamed because you were playing golf instead of contacting the families. So now he's reacted to, okay, we'll save face and go speak to the family. Had he not been ousted about the controversy of not speaking to the victims after the shooting, he wouldn't have gone to beat them up. Let's stop trying to paint Trump in any kind of light or way. He only has to do things as a reaction to doing something bad in the first place.
And I want
Hello, Rowan.
And I want receipts because I don't believe that. If there's a GoFundMe, it's from someone else. If it's him saying it, it's not $7 million. And like Ginger said, it's only because he fucked up. And apparently when he was golfing, he didn't have a bandage on his ear for 2 days. This is coming into play because at the RNC, 3 days later, all of a sudden, He had a bandage, and it was a ridiculous looking bandage,
Look
by
like
the
a
way, as a
fucking tea
former
bag.
nurse.
Yeah, and your
Look like
ear
a
stops
teabag.
bleeding after a while and dries up. It's there's like it's fucking cartilage and a stitch and you're done. If a stitch needed or a small band-aid. But he was pictured with nothing just
Yep.
prior to it. Then as soon as he got on the show, slap that thing on.
No, we've got more TikToks of Trump to come up. But first of all, oi geezer, cunt, cup of tea, love. Cheers, governor. Stupid English cunts, wanker.
And you go spat. Exactly.
All right,
Rowan.
I know you. I know you guys love that shit. Okay, so today's stupid English cunt is this, and I'll be honest with you. One of the things I despise the most in recent times is going to the cinema simply because there's too many dickheads who want to be heard, and I didn't
also
pay
it's
my
too
money
expensive.
to listen, and I didn't pay my expensive amount of money to listen to your chavvy ass. I wanted to watch the fucking film, but now going on an airplane can be just as bad. Check out this fucking bitch.
Stand back. I am back. Saw your head out, you fucking idiot. You're not doing yourself any favours. You're not doing yourself any favours either. So what?
Fucking-
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. What have I done? What have I done wrong on this fight? What have
Be
I
the
done
nosy
wrong
little
on
bug.
this fight? What have you done wrong on this fight? I'm out with your face. What have you done wrong on this fight? What have you done wrong on this fight? Do you have one answer?
And eventually,
Just cheering.
and like all
Well,
this
we are
foreign,
going to beat you with our truncheons now, you stupid bitch.
this plane got diverted to any place they can land, and so these foreign police who probably have to deal with this fucking crazy English bitch. You know, like, oh no, she was this plane wasn't supposed to land in our country, and now we got to fucking deal with this. All the fucking paperwork that probably have to come with it. You know what I mean? You know, she's probably thinking this ain't Benidorm. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. All right.
What did I do? Probably everything.
Okay.
I'm the victim here.
Comments here.
Yes,
Well,
we loved it, Rowan, but we've replaced one pack of cunts for another pack of cunts.
yeah. TLD.
Oh, God.
This is what I'll never understand with people who support Trump. They honestly think that the left supports Biden, and you have to keep constantly understanding that no, they don't. They'll take a fucking pot of porridge if it goes up against Trump. They'll vote for that, and they'll fucking even though they'll be like the vice president will be blowing bubbles into that porridge to make it look like it's still alive or whatever. Like they'll vote for that because it ain't fucking Donald Trump. They don't want somebody who's going to end democracy. It's as simple as that.
It's the same thing here, Rowan.
And don't get me wrong. With the left, you have to earn our vote, and unfortunately, the only way they might earn our vote is by how evil the right is. And the Democrats have always done that. They've always done that. They constantly rely on the Republicans being so horrible and evil that people vote for the Democrats to get away from these fuckers, whilst the Democrats themselves offer fuck all. Your left in America, your left wing party is center right. You don't have a left wing party in America. You have two right wing parties. If you had a remotely left wing party, you have a universal health care by now by one of them. You don't have that at all. It's an absolute, and your universal health care would be going to America, not to fucking Israel. Let's see what else. What else do we have? What else? Oh, here we go. This one's for you, Rick B. As you are a pick me, I thought you'd appreciate this one. I thought of you when I saw this, Rick. Let's go.
To use the minorities only to go back and pick the white man. Who would have thunk it? What does these three have in common? They got catfished. Here, Vice President. Here, Vice President. Come here. That man put y'all out in these streets saying some of the most ridiculous things. Meanwhile, the white man that he was going to pick was sitting at home quiet while y'all in the streets looking like fools. Now y'all screaming, who can I run to? Because apparently neither side wants y'all any longer. Mwah. Bye-bye. Nanny boo-boo. He didn't pick you.
Oh my God, why are so many people on TikTok such annoying cunts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Tell y'all that.
Fuck me.
Every long time. They never gonna pick you. Ever. And even if it's only for one night, it's simply to use you. The funniest part is how Vivek really thought he was going to be the vice president walking behind him like this. Only to wake up this morning and find out it was a no-go. Many people were saying it's a no call, no show. Okay, I think that's all. Today was a good day. Bye-bye.
Yep. This is what happens when you're a pick-me, because at the end of the day, well, you didn't answer the question about Biden. If you are not on the Biden bandwagon, yes or no, do you believe the Biden? No, I don't. I don't believe he's a compatible president at all. You know, but yeah, I don't believe he is. But I don't believe Donald Trump is either. You know, I do. But yeah, like I believe both of them are incompatible. But one of them is democracy, one of them isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. I can understand. I can totally.
Yeah,
understand.
that TikTok guy is annoying.
Yeah. Speaking of, because this is the perfect place to play this one then, because it's right in line with exactly what you were talking about here. So we all know who Nikki Haley is.
Haley said she's releasing all of her 97 delegates, but we're also hearing from her spokesperson that Haley is not invited to the Republican convention. This even as she drops her delegates and urges them to unite behind former President Donald Trump. Haley's longtime spokesperson said to me, she's not invited and Trump is entitled to have the convention that he wants.
Yeah. Eat my face.
Never thought the leopards would eat my face. I changed my name to hide my race, but they put this brown girl in her place. No, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Slow it down now. I never thought it would happen to me. I changed my name to hide my race, but they put this brown girl.
Change my name to hide my race.
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. But we all knew it would happen eventually, the Nimrata.
Okay. Rigby, I have to ask you, like, you say, why are you obsessed by race? But who's the one who complains about everything being fucking woke all the time? Not me. All right. I'd be shocked if Biden or Trump live for next year.
Yeah.
Biden got COVID. He's sundown, and Trump is probably only running on methamphetamines and is on his way to cardiac arrest. Yeah. I'm surprised they're both still alive, considering he's on the diet of fucking McDonald's. I will never delete TikTok. Now, listen, before we get back on more of the political shit, I think we have our moment of levity. And this is a quality moment of levity right here, boys and girls. Check this shit out.
Asking AI to make a hit country song about Dr. Pepper.
I drank 30 Dr. Peppers for lunch, and my butt's like a rocket that's awaiting to launch. And if I keep drinking through the afternoon, I'll be peeing Dr. Pepper straight soaking these boots. Pepper me up, keep the river flowing. I drink that soda everywhere that I'm going. It's a harmless addiction that I need in my bones, even if I always got kidney stones. These doctors all say I should kick it, but they don't know nothing, man. They can all kiss it. There's a step in my step and a hit in my hand. Only doctor I trust is the Pepper Man. And those 23 flavors are all I gotta need. That sweet Dr. Pepper brings a man to his knees. I'm thirsting and hurting for an ice cold can of the Lord's good nectar. I'm a Dr. Pepper Man.
Seriously,
That 10
that's
out of 10.
AI.
That's what AI
is-
should be used for.
AI is amazing, dude. AI is absolutely. And people, when people hear the word AI, they immediately think, Matrix and fucking Skynet and all of that. But no, it's just a form of advanced software where you get amazing shit like this. You're on mute, by the way, Ginger.
I'm talking to my cat, so I didn't want to disrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
just a few things before we move on. Firstly, okay, look, yes, AI is a lot of fun and all of that when you use it for shit like that, for pure amusement and all that. But when it encroaches in on somebody's job, especially in the creative sector, in terms of if you're going to try and make $1 billion movie by writing it in AI and things like that, or start fucking creating musical artists with just AI, just so the small, genuine music artists get screwed over, then that's where we have the issue. But when you're doing it for things like that, like I love AI art. I use it, I create it all the time. I have fun with it, but I don't monetize it. I just have fun with it. I have a laugh, okay? And I love that that's there. But if I had money, I wouldn't use that to replace a genuine artist. If I ran a company, I wouldn't use it to replace genuine artists because, firstly, if they create it under your, under your company or that, you own it. Whereas AI, it's a lot harder to copyright it because it pulls from other areas. So that's firstly. And secondly, it's giving somebody a job. It's not going to cost you how much money you're actually going to save. All right. All your big money is spent in films is like, the wages you give to actors, directors, and the whole production as a whole. You're going to save a couple of $100,000 on scripts, which is just fucking ridiculous. So in that regard. Secondly, I just want to say this. If Biden and Trump croak, listen, I'll cheer just as much for both because people need to remember Biden is a huge garbage human. Okay, he's a massive piece of shit. He's worse than Trump in terms of the policies that he's pushed through over time. Okay, the crime bill, that's his baby. All right, so Israel, they're both they're all in bed.
Biden Trump will be worse when it comes to Israel overall.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
they'll just be carry on as status quo, so I can't really use Israel as a bar. But not being able to default on your loans, he was part of the fucking people that put that bill together. So Biden's a massive piece of shit. He's a Republican through and through, but he's just a garbage human. He's not a good person. So I'll cheer just as loud if he croaks as I would Hillary or Trump or whatever, just so people think, oh, the tolerant left. Biden's not left wing. He's a standard Republican. He's always been a Republican. He's voted and cut to the Republicans his entire political career.
Before we get to the comments, I just need to get this one out of the way.
Stupid American cunt.
All right. We're going to get to Stupid American cunt in a second. Zam's
That's
TikTok
also very
up.
true. Sorry, hang on, Zam. Sorry, mate. Just quickly on this. Stop
it. Sorry.
This is true as well, TOD. But again, they'll make improvements in that area to kind of eventually the technology will improve enough where it doesn't siphon as much. I'm sorry, Zam. I'll put you back to your comment.
No problem. Thank you very much, Daniel Vance. I'm glad you like my TikTok traces. I watched them in my bed before I saved them, and that's how you know. Americans will be losing access to TikTok soon. I know it's ridiculous. One thing fucking Congress pushing GD Week is app because China banned. I hate it. Not just China, but there's others in Israel as well. Definitely plays its part. They just don't like to not have be in control of the narrative, and they can't.
And the corporation.
Yeah, and TikTok is not under their banner. And so instead of there's so many things that are fundamentally important to be done in America, but no, we're going to ban an app that has been used by 1/3 of the fucking country, and they love it. Whatever side of the political spectrum they may be on, based on what I'm seeing.
Why spend time working on a healthcare when we can try and deal with TikTok, a non-issue?
Yep.
So one more moment of levity, but we're kind of getting it back into the things with this one regarding Americana. Check this out. This is hilarious.
but I think we just listened to the worst national anthem in the history of this country at the MLB Home Run Derby. And I think it's fair to say this is the worst thing that's happened to America over the past week or so. Here we go. It's bad. What is she doing?
Did AI write this?
She's awfully.
She's
what
drunk.
is that pause? It should be. What is this like sexy rendition?
How drunk she is.
Imagine being one of these players. I'll be put together. I wouldn't watch
it. Why does she sound like she's fucking edging?
We've been through enough in this country over the past few days. Alec Boehm couldn't believe it.
Poor girl.
He was
She's
holding
having
back.
a fucking brain aneurysm and no one's helping.
She was just drunk.
Oh, I know.
You guys in the States, you overdo it with your fucking anthem and your patriotism, with you fucking involve it in every aspect of your fucking life. It looks like indoctrination. It looks like fucking North Korea, but on your part of the fucking world. It's really fucking bad. Look, the only time we play our anthem here in the UK when it comes to sporting events is when we have international sports, because it's one country playing another. When our club teams and our local teams play each other, that anthem ain't fucking getting played at all. Not even, I think, in the FA Cup final does it fucking get played. You know, so you guys over fucking do it. I find it kind of meaningless. I find it very cringy, and I find it major indoctrination. But I also like to laugh at it when you have to when you go to these levels and you hire these fucking clowns to fucking sing it. I'm surprised. I'm not lumping you. I'm just looking generally. You know, just generally how it is in the States.
Yeah,
you know,
but you're also a hypocrite, because today when we went for food, you made us sing the national anthem of Zimbabwe. So, you know, fuck you.
Yeah. I'm worried. I'm actually worried that the people in the chat might actually believe that. You know,
Can you imagine if they do?
Yeah, they might. That's you make a joke like that, but you never know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, some people are like, wait, he really made you sing the national anthem of Zimbabwe? So, yeah, we couldn't eat our burger. He wouldn't let us.
Did you save the 2 TikToks I sent you for the show?
Oh,
to me,
yeah,
100%. It's one of the greatest
it
songs
was
ever written.
It was the one about Canada, and then there was one about this Florida man, and it's just a comedic piece of gold. But
did you send it to me privately, or did you send it to me on Facebook? You sent it to me on TikTok or Facebook?
On Messenger. I think I sent them both
I don't know,
to the
Rowan.
group and to you. I'll get them for next time.
No, hold on. I should be able to find it. By the way, this was just made for me just now.
And
check this
if
out.
it's about Trump, don't play it. But if it's the but if it's the guy I'm running for shit, I think his name's Kevin or Dave. It's hilarious. It's Florida man guy. And then there's a Canadian. He does a little TikTok. It's funny.
Okay, let me. Sorry, I'm just checking right now, Chris. Let me. Are you sure you sent it to me? I got one here on TikTok. I got one TikTok here. Let's have a look.
Is it called Tizzy?
Oh, I'm glad you got a Grinder one. Is that one of them, Chris? Grinder?
I'm not on Grinder.
No, one of the TikTok you sent me because regardless, you sent me something about Grinder, and I'm gonna fucking play it.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I mean, Zab, if you wanted to ask Christina if she's on Grindr, there's a better way to do it.
Oh god damn it! This fucking app is so goddamn annoying. All right, let's go.
And in what I'm sure is completely
Man, it starts on its own. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's so annoying.
unrelated news.
No.
Wednesday, Tuesday night, news broke that Grindr is experiencing outages due to unprecedented traffic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And in what I'm sure is completely unrelated news, Wednesday marks day 3 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's it. That wasn't the one I was thinking, but that was one of the funny ones that I sent you. I'll get the other two for next time, but that was
Rowan,
funny.
you sir are on fire.
Republican National Closet. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what? Maybe the outage from Grindr ended up being the outage that happened with fucking Microsoft. One thing led to another. You know what I mean? Because I've got more on that actually. Sorry, I accidentally closed my TikTok. my TikTok with
Brokeback Convention.
Broke. That's very, very good. So, where is it?
But yeah, I mean, they are just. It's so like this is why we fucking laugh at these kind of idiots, but we shouldn't be laughing because it's dead serious. Like the amount of repressed homosexuals and closeted homosexuals in the Republican Party who are happy to just wave on in Project 2025 that will strip them of their rights.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, there's too many. Yeah, what upsets me the most when it comes to the LGBTQ community being repressed and being marginalized is usually by their own people who are still in the fucking closet. They're the ones who tend to be the loudest, and that's the sad thing. Okay, this guy expands on the
Just
on
comment
Grindr.
quickly, Sam, and then we'll come to you. So most of the bars near the convention were rented out for events by drag shows, so convention persons had nowhere to drink afterwards each night. That is fucking beautiful. Sorry, Sam.
I hope that's true.
And by the way, Rowan Ash, I am a trans woman chaser too, but thank God I'm not right wing. But I love fucking trans. I'm addicted to them. You know, it was a habit. I was spending a lot of money on them and shit like that. But yeah, what can you do? Huh? What can you do? All right, let's continue.
Execs of the gay dating app Grindr are calling the Republican National Convention their Super Bowl. Here's a video from inside the convention. You'll notice every single one of these matches is 0 feet away. And if you're wondering why there's so many under the name of Troy, it's because gay Republican staffers are known to use the names of their bosses in order to remain anonymous on dating apps. Do you think this guy knows what his staff is up to? It's kind of funny, but it's also pretty sad because Republicans have been getting more and more anti-LGBTQ plus in recent years, passing laws like this all over the country. And the VP that they were there to nominate famously hated the Equality Act. It's kind of fucked up that these people have to hide who they are. We had a brief window for a couple of years where it was okay to be gay and Republican, but it feels like post-Trump that just all changed. I don't know, man. I just thought we were past that stuff, but I guess not.
And just generally, that's the scary thing about progress. That, you know, just when you think you're turning a corner, there are people out there in this world who will make sure, you know what, we're going to pull you back around again because this fucking corner cannot be turned. We don't want to normalize things that we have had issues with forever, and then we're going to double down. We're going to start calling people pedophiles and shit like that. You know, it's sad, you know, because these are regular normal things, you know, and
They hate themselves, and you can't be happy because they're sad about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to go to this comment here. Oh, thank you, Zab. Yes, I saw that the International Criminal Courts of Justice, or whatever they're called, has found Israel guilty of being an apartheid state and building on land illegally, and is told to kind of withdraw from those areas. And good. More pressure, never shut up, keep doing it, keep hitting it. We spoke last week how you know, all the protests and all the actions by the Yemenis has helped you know, put a huge financial strain on Israel. We found out this week that the port of Eilat is bankrupt. because there is no shipment coming through because of the Yemeni blockades. And this is just wonderful news. You got to ramp up the pressure because the Israeli government voted against a two-state solution, which has always been their plan. They have no plan to have a two-state solution. Their solution has always been wipe Palestine and Palestinians off the face of the earth, go into Jordan, go into Lebanon, go into Egypt, take back what they see as a classical Israel. Well, by that logic, then that means the Palestinians then have a right to return and take back what is rightfully theirs as well. But it's just an ongoing cycle of violence. However, this has put a huge strain, and they're stretched militarily as well because they've just introduced conscription into Israel, and a lot of the Orthodox Jews are protesting against that, and they were getting arrested and beaten and shot en masse as well in Israel. The only democracy in the Middle East, my fat juicy ass. Christine.
Two things. That's why I suspect that the United States is pushing hard to register everyone here, because something's coming up, or in the United States, for all their youth to be registered and be drafted. They're bringing the draft back because of what's going on here. And it's not just the state, but the defense, the guy at the top of the defense force and their prime minister have both been charged with war crimes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And Labour, of course, did the right thing by having David Lammy, MP of the neighbouring borough to me, go up and kiss Netanyahu's ass and shake his hand, a man that's wanted for genocide and apartheid, being the leader of an apartheid state, and they're cozying up to him. Why is that? Because Labour is completely bought and owned by the Israeli lobby. They're in for and just quickly, Sam, sorry. I'll just remove that. Oh,
sorry. You want me to press the button? I'll press the button.
You press the button. Yeah, you press the button. Thank you. And I just want to make this clear. So a lot of the Labour candidates that lost their seats to independents have been, the media's given them lots of airtime to kind of complain and make up lies that they were bullied and intimidated and harassed. No, they weren't. Their constituents literally just said, not going to vote for you because you're a Zionist piece of shit. It's as simple as that. We don't want you here. We want, human rights for everyone, and you're denying our own people human rights, so we're not going to vote for you. But they're on there, and they're trying to pressure Starmer, and the Israeli lobby is trying to pressure Starmer to kind of treat these independents as terrorist sympathizers so they can't run the next time round. And I'm like, bring it on. You can't do that. That's actually against the law. And he'll get pushed on that and exposed on that. So if he wants to try it, try it. But every attack Starmer has done is backfired on him. Okay, he got rid of a whole lot of the left from within the Labour Party. And guess what? A lot of those people either got seats via as independents or as councillors, or came really, really close, meaning next time round, those Labour candidates ain't going to fucking be there. So you're going to see a lot of those candidates getting attacked. But I just want to show you just how entrenched Israeli lobbies are in every country's fucking politics. And
I'll be right back.
You can't give up the fight. You have to keep doing it. Sorry, Sam, you can go on, sure.
No problem. Yemen did a drone strike on Tel Aviv. I saw that. I understand, but it's usually retaliation. Considering Israel have been fucking encroaching on the surrounding areas for decades now.
Yemen did it because of what the Yemen have said. We're going to war with Israel. They're attacking Israel because of what's happening in Palestine. It's not just because they want it.
No, but it's retaliation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People power.
Sorry, Zam. Yeah.
People power does work. Power to the people. Humanity always wins. And look, this is when it comes to anti-Semitism. This is proper anti-Semitism, and no one talks about. People always want to go on about black on black crime. What about Jew on Jew crime? Check this out.
So on that,
they're fucking animals. You know?
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say, every time you've seen the pro-Palestinian protesters come out and protest, they've had to be dignified, quiet, and behave and in line. When the Zionists come out, they act like fucking dogs off a leash. They are animals. They are violent. They've caused nothing but destruction and chaos to all these protesters, and the media says nothing. If one person within a pro-Palestinian crowd says something anti-Semitic, the media jumps on it. Okay, they're everywhere. These Zionists, okay, these pro-Israeli people have come out and they're wishing death and that their kids get raped and all this kind of shit. And it's just like, these people are the epitome of exactly everything we hate about Zionist Israel. They are fucking animals. Uncaged, unhinged, sociopathic animals that will fucking kill their own just because they differ on ideology. All right? And yeah, David Lammy's a fucking worm. I hate him with a passion.
Look, regarding that particular clip, you mentioned the Zionists. The Zionists were the secular looking Jews. The Orthodox Jews, which are the real religious ones, aren't the actual Zionists in this particular case. I mean, let me quickly show you again, but they're only 15 seconds long. Look. Sorry, 1 second.
Hang on, Hassan, I have something for you for that.
Look, this guy's got a Palestinian, this Orthodox Jew has a Palestinian flag around his neck. Yeah, there's a lot of Orthodox Jews who understand that the state of Israel is not what how it should be portrayed by their religious doctrine. It should be given to them by God, not by man, and that's why they don't accept it. Which is why they're pro-Palestinian, because the people living on that land have been ousted, and they don't agree with it under their religious name. They don't agree with it, and unfortunately, they've been harassed by other Jewish people who are the actual Zionists. Well, these guys have been very peaceful and very dignified under all the shit that's happening to them right now. And I've seen the Orthodox Jews who are pro-Palestinian. They're much more chilled out. They're much more laid back. I've seen Orthodox Jews who are Zionists, and they're fucking just as nuts as these cunts here. You know? So,
yeah. Hassan, here, yeah. This is for you. Regarding why it's criticizing Israel.
Zionists was founded by an atheist?
There you go. This is why. Anything Israel wants to me. There it was. Yeah, the Zionist movement were atheistic. If there were proper Jews, okay, they would follow the same rhetoric as the Orthodox Jews, which is that Israel will be returned to them by the Messiah, by God, not by means of violence and basically colonization, which is what Israel is. Okay, Zionism, the movement of Zionism is a far right ideology. It's a Jewish ethno state, but when we say Jewish ethno state, back then it wasn't about like in the sense of religious fundamentalism, like the far right kind of Zionist Jews that you have there. It was more just to say, you know, our people, our culture, and all this needs a homeland. They could have gone to Argentina. They got offered plenty of land in Argentina, but nope. Them and the British, they were like, actually, yeah, you're quite useful idiots. We'll put you in there, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
I just find that weird. Like, how can a religious ideology be founded by an atheist?
Because it's a bunch of zealots, nut jobs, okay, that wanted a Jewish supremacist, a Jewish ethno state. It's not always tied to religion. It's a cultural thing, you know. We're dealing with illogical idiots here, you know, so.
Fair enough. Well, look, back to a moment of levity before we go into more serious stuff. I saw this clip. Remember that woman who talked about how black people don't know how to use computers, and the guy at the bottom, this is his response to that.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. Young black kids growing up in the Bronx.
So she was right.
Well,
that was good. That's
good
actually
for that guy. Good for that guy mocking her. But I do worry sometimes that people might use this in the wrong way. You know, that's the
Yeah, they'll
sometimes-
just play that side by side and they'll be like, "You see, look."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, well, how did he upload it?" They're like, "No, we can't be thinking that kind of logic."
Now, you see, there's this dude on TikTok who likes to mock the left, and he's always eating at the same time. Well, Walter Mattison has decided to copy this dude, and he's got his own way of doing things. Check it out.
So a Republican gets shot by a registered Republican using a gun that Democrats tried to ban, and somehow it's the Democrats' fault? Got it. So a Republican...
Oh, I love that. I love that. Because that dickhead on TikTok who's the right winger, he's actually made on a few occasions some really excellent points. But a broken clock is right twice a day, and just because you're right a handful of times doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with you majority of the fucking time. And I'm glad Walter Mattison is taking the piss out of him, and I've got a couple more of good old Walter doing this. Where we go.
But the thing is, as well, look, the thing is with Zam, with a lot of right wingers, is they understand the system is broken. They just don't understand how it's broken. That's the problem. They want the same things as the left do, but they've been so brainwashed into hating the very ideology that will bring them that they don't know who to blame and why it's happened. So they keep thinking, no, the billionaire sugar daddies are going to save them. They're in the same boat as every other working class person. They just don't seem to realize why.
But it annoys me because they say we're anti-elite, yet there's no more elite person than people like fucking Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, he is the fucking elite. He is the swamp.
He was literally part of the fucking Democratic elite. He used to schmooze with the Clintons all the fucking time. He was best friends with the fucking Clintons.
Yep. Here we go.
That.
So teachers are grooming our children, but Republicans want to give them guns?
Yeah. Thank you as well, Rowan. So I got one more from him.
Yeah, and thank you, Roman, because you've been a breath of fresh air in the comments. And to you, Hassan. You know, Advance always hits us with that wonderful knowledge, but we like a nice, diverse group of commenters.
So there's a dating app for far-right incels who don't understand consent, and now they can't find any women to join the app? Got it. So there's...
Oh.
And it's so funny, but I know about the app. It's called The Right Stuff. You know, no pronouns required. You know, and it's only meant for people who are male and female. That's it. Welcome back, Chris.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's the app. Yeah, but only men pay for it. Women can go on it for free. But there are no fucking women on this app. This traditional right wing app. There's no women on it whatsoever because the fucking dudes are douches. Go on.
You know what? That's outrageous. Like, these fucking women don't know that all the nice guys are on this app. Okay? They're just going to end up with some drug-addled Chad who's going to fuck them and leave them and, you know, the usual
Just
stuff.
ask them about the bear thing, and if they say, "Why would you pick a bear?" and then you know.
Gigi,
If
you
you
used
know,
to
you
follow
know.
football back in the day. I'm not sure if you still do. What do you reckon about USA hosting the World Cup. Personally, I think it's shocking. Such a dangerous country. Oh, oh right. Oh yeah. So you're from back when I used to do the football streams. Hello, Hassan. Sorry, I stopped doing that. 'Cause, yeah, my brain was just all over the place back then. Look. So we'll go for. I'm just gonna. Yeah,
we spoke about that on Wednesday, by the way, didn't we?
So we have a video talking about that from Wednesday. About it, and do you know what? It's not even about the violence thing, because okay, that part fine, but they just had the Copa America there, and apparently they said it was just the pitches were atrocious. The pitches were either a lot of them were either too small. It was very poorly organized as well. There was a lot of issues. I mean, we saw the Colombian and Argentinians kind of raiding one of the stadiums to get in for the final and all this kind of shit. But I'll be perfectly honest with you. What is there to say? Let the shit show happen. It'll be fun. It'll be as chaotic as it was in South Africa. And nobody will report on it. It will all get suppressed and FIFA won't give a shit.
I have my opinions.
I feel bad for Mexico.
I have my opinions on it for a start, because this is going to be the 2026 World Cup. Very good chance Donald Trump could be president of the United States when this World Cup happens. And for a start, do you think America is going to let in, like a big portion of fucking South America and Latin and the West Indies to come into America to watch their country play football? I doubt it.
That's the point. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
and another thing as well, as I said earlier, regarding America, the country, the land of the mass shooting. I said before that in these fan zones, where you're gonna get Mill Team 6 come along, some fucking crazy Trump supporter, with his fucking pointy, covering his face with a pointy white hat. He's gonna come in there and see all these he's gonna go in there and go, they took our jobs, and start shooting the shit out of all these fucking anyone with a different melanin count to them. It's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be a dream come true for some of these motherfuckers, and then probably think, what?
Team 6.
You got that? Did you?
Yeah. And I just worry. I do worry that there will be a mass shooting at one of these fucking events. There's gonna be 48 countries playing in this tournament. Not all of them are gonna be from white countries.
To be fair, I don't think so, because look, there was a whole lot of people that came over for the Copa America. And that's all the Mexicans. Let's just call them Mexicans, because it helps the Americans of that ilk better understand. That came for the Copa America, and we didn't have mass shootings. We just had chaos. So I don't think there'll be mass shootings.
I think there'll be a bigger spotlight when it comes to the World Cup, and there's going to be more. And once again, like I said, this will be under the Trump administration, not Biden. I think people under the Trump administration will feel like if they kill a whole bunch of fucking brown-looking people, that they'll probably get away with it under the current government. They probably might think that. I'm not saying that they should think that, but people will sometimes get the wrong idea of what they can do in their country depending on who's in charge. When
They're
Brexit
more
happened,
emboldened now.
Yeah.
It's not closeted racism, and it's not just outward racism. It's outward violent racism.
Yeah. I mean, like when Brexit happened, people genuinely thought that I was going to get deported. Where am I going to get deported? I don't know. I'm a fucking British citizen. You know what I mean? But somehow, me, who's not even fucking European, of European ancestry, is somehow going to be deported because we left Europe. I know it sounds fucking weird, but yeah, this is the shit we have to fucking deal with. So, I don't know. I just feel that some things are going to kick off when we have the World Cup in America.
He's commenting from my channel, Rick.
Oh,
yeah.
You should join us. By the way, should I put no cheap on here?
Did you get the TikTok?
Yeah, put the channel in the comments. They can subscribe there.
Yeah, subscribe to this channel. By the way, if you're coming to us from
see. I know it's easy to kind of say this about Qatar. Yes, the World Cup itself was really good. That's because they banned alcohol, and I always say
Big deal.
alcohol is a shit drug. Fucking hate it with a passion. Okay, I would never ban it because I'm not that type of person. I would just, want to. I don't even need to say it because this country's like fucking, generations under me just aren't fucking drinking anymore, so we're all good. But getting there was an absolute shit show, and a lot of immigrants died, and it was fucking like just horrible. The treatment of immigrants in those current countries in general is disgusting, and poor human rights record. But everyone glossed over it because hey, the World Cup was really good. And it's like I can't accept that. They should never have had the World Cup. Saudi Arabia should get the World Cup, but they've got the World Cup, and this is why Argentina, who were caught again, we did this or covered this on Wednesday with that racist and transphobic song. FIFA doing nothing about it. Nothing.
By the way, Rowan Ash, you know what makes me happy is knowing that there are Americans out there who are not the stereotype, and it's so good that you're not one of them.
You could probably claim asylum in our country anyway once Trump
Yeah,
gets in.
we'll accept you.
And
We do
we'll take you in.
too.
Speaking of stereotypes, though, I did send Zam. It's just a funny little TikTok if you want to play it.
Tickety talk. Let me have a look.
Yeah. And indeed, welcome Hassan and welcome Rowan Ash. Every Friday at 9 o'clock, we do this podcast. I might not be on as often, but we do this every Friday around 9 o'clock UK time. So feel free to join us. And we always welcome people's comments, even if they are causing Zam's brain to melt when Rick B comments.
This guy does a series where he just makes jokes about running. You'll see.
Why don't I find it?
I just sent it to you.
But we're racist against Americans, so you know.
How did you send it to me?
To you on Messenger.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. Never mind. I'll get it for next time.
Well, I've got the only one I've got is the one. Is the Grinder one?
No, then I didn't send it. Sorry.
Did you send it to me? Let me have a look.
I didn't send anything to you today, but maybe I did by accident.
Let's have a look. Is it called Make Your Day?
No.
Is it? Oh, did you send? No.
Nothing to do with Trump. I sent you a lot of those and Israel stuff. No,
Oh, right.
This was a funny. Let's lighten the mood for a second. So if you don't find it,
lighting in here, baby.
All right. Well, look, here we go.
Elon being done this week.
That last picture of him going in his fucking prepubescent mustache just growing out. I hate it so much. I fucking absolutely hate it. But regardless, yeah, Brexit was done by the people you favour, by the way, just so you know, Rick B. It would be impossible to me to leave the belly of the beast and not fight back for the sake of my community. And well done, by the way. Yeah, we know about Project 2025.
Yeah, we know. We've covered it.
This is why I'm fucking glad that I don't live in America. And by the way, I do plan to come to America in 2025. But if Trump is president, I'm not coming. Damn, stop hating America, thinking everything's great. Oh, shut up, Rick B, for fuck's sake. I've had it for you.
For those of you who
shut
are
up on your
new-
face. Shut up on your face. Fucking hell, shut up.
For those of you who are new, Rick B is just really a troll most of the time.
Yeah.
We'll love him either
All right.
way.
So, either way, let's get this Elon Musk comment out.
And I will meet you one day, Rick B. I will meet you. I'm getting better.
Oh, damn it. Why is this thing fucking starting on its own all the time? All right, you ready? There we go.
Have y'all seen the recent news about Elon Musk? And no, I'm not talking about him donating money to Trump, which, by the way, he said back in March he would not do. I'm talking about the recent reports that Elon Musk is moving Twitter and SpaceX out of California
Oh,
down
thank
to
you, Zam. I was
Texas
going to post
because
something about this.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law protecting trans and non-binary students from being outed to their parents by their school district. Keep in mind, Elon Musk has a trans kid. In a quote from Elon Musk, he said, "This is the final straw." That was the final straw. Protecting trans and non-binary kids from being outed against their will was the final straw. Okay. Because of this law and the many others that preceded it, attacking both families and companies, SpaceX will now move its HQ from Hawthorne, California to Starbase, Texas. I did make it clear to Governor Newsom about a year ago that laws of this nature would force families and companies to leave California to protect their children. What a load of bull. Elon Musk, I boo. Boo. Elon, he thinks he knows so much, but in reality, what does he know? How to make money? Sure. How to be a royal pain in the ass? Absolutely. But what does Elon Musk know about protecting children, families? What does he know? This is trash. Pure, unadulterated trash. Have y'all seen the...
It's also...
He doesn't know how to make money. He got the money from his
subsidies
parents.
and the
government subsidies and all that. But okay, let's just stick to the subject of this is bullshit. By the way, this is Elon Musk trying to paint himself to his new crowd of far right fuckwits as a kind of bastion of virtue. This is virtue signaling, literally virtue signaling. He's planned to move SpaceX outside of California for a long time now, and now Twitter. Does everyone know why? From California to Texas,
because
same reason Joe Rogan went.
Yeah, for tax purposes.
Thank you. So this is just virtue
Greg Abbott
signaling
will-
from him. He had not. He was going to move either way because he has to pay less taxes in California. He gets more tax breaks in Texas. So don't believe the bullshit. This just worked perfectly for him because he can use this as an excuse to look strong to his base of morons that follow him, and what else is there to say? And to have the excuse. That's it. I was trying to find that word. And to have the excuse to make the move more public rather than
It
tax
just
break.
like it just annoys me. Like there's one grift that, in my opinion, never fucking fails, and I think a lot of people end up going to it when times are hard, and that's MAGA. The MAGA grift. I mean, it's because of Donald Trump. They see the ultimate grifter in Donald Trump, who's created this cult of personality where they'll follow this motherfucker off a cliff, even though he doesn't give a shit about the fucking the people that vote for him. And so many people have realized this now, that he's the ultimate grift magnet. And now you got people like Hulk Hogan and Elon Musk and that woman with the tattoo on her fucking head. I forgot her name. You know what about the one?
Yeah, I know the Amber Rose.
Amber Rose and all of these people. They know that they're dealing with fucking idiots who will circle the wagons around them, regardless of like people like Donald Trump who's got pictures of himself with Epstein and the Epstein files came out and he's a fucking convicted rapist. They don't give a fuck. They'll circle your wagons. The grift is always strong.
Yeah.
When it comes to right wingers and the MAGA crowd, and Elon Musk is with them because they worship you as well. The way they worship Musk. Musk was so jealous, by the way, of Donald Trump being shot. He had to mention twice that on Twitter that same day that he'd been somebody tried to assassinate him on 2 different occasions. He doesn't want fucking Trump to get all the fucking attention. Elon Musk
I find it funny that the assassination attempt comes right on the heels of the Epstein files. Just saying.
Yeah.
By the way, the MAGAs have gone quiet on those as well since Donald Trump got ousted as a pedophile. They're suddenly like, you know what? Never mind. Don't worry about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
But then, fuck off, cat. Seriously, stop jumping through my window. Dumb cunt.
Yeah, fair enough. So Rowan says if he's got I think it's regarding Elon Musk.
We know this. I'm not sorry,
Yeah.
Ron. We don't need to repeat. We know how Musk got started. But yeah,
Are you a fan of virtual signaling? The correct answer is both. Yeah, if you're an Elon Musk fan. If you're talking about Elon Musk. I'm a classic libertarian centrist. Are you? I know we have different political opinions, but I get on all sorts of people. I don't like to get on all sorts of people, Rick B, because all sorts of people are not for me. Like for instance, we mentioned this earlier, the KKK. I don't want to get along with them. They are fucking terrible people, you know, and I'm not going to fucking break bread with people who want me dead.
I don't want to get along with people that yell at me for picking the bear.
Yep. You don't be talking and understanding my opinion. That's democracy come together to make more perfect union. That is a good thing, but sometimes certain people don't want to listen. I love Elon. I don't know how anyone can hate him because the guy's also been
he's
under investigation.
British, Roman.
I love Elon. I don't know how, where it first started, the guy's been under investigation for being for sexual assault. Remember the woman he tried to fucking pay off with a horse?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
and how many women he sexually harassed in the office?
Yep, and on top of that, the guy has kids who he has kids for the sake of it, doesn't give a shit about any of them. I'm sure he doesn't even remember all his children's name, and one of his kids is trans, and he's one of the most anti-trans people around. He obviously doesn't love his daughter, his trans daughter.
He's a shit parent. He's a shit parent. His kids don't fucking love him. He's got like 20,000 of them, and none of them give a fuck about him. And he's always about, parents must respect the fucking children no matter what. And it's like, shut the fuck up, mate. He's just butthurt because he's got so many sycophants that will just worship the ground he walks on. But his own kids are like, you're a fucking buffoon. And he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. He's just completely devoid of anything. And he's a fucking idiot as well. A complete fucking idiot.
That Cybertruck's a fucking joke. That Cybertruck is broken down when people washed it because prior to washing it, the car wasn't in car wash mode, and because the car wasn't in car wash mode, it broke down when it was being fucking car washed. What car needs a car wash mode? That's the most stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard of. But
what happens when it rains?
I was thinking that too. But
and they have the highest recall rate as well, the Teslas in general. Just they're trash, and that's why they're losing money now. That people are just quartered onto it, and they're like, this car's a piece of shit. And so they're moving on. Because don't forget, Tesla like skyrocketed. It's like the number one selling electric vehicle and one of the highest selling vehicles. And now it's just like massive recalls. And, Tesla tried to block all of that, all this kind of shit from like giving the car back because it's broken. And they're trash. He's going to probably, and that's why he wanted, what did he want from Tesla? It was like a 45 million just bonus of money. Or he threatened to sell, and they give it to him in the end.
I know some people we know, and I don't want to embarrass them by bringing up their name unnecessarily on here. But
okay, now you are trolling.
Yeah, he is. Like they support Elon Musk in the sense of SpaceX. I don't trust Elon Musk regarding SpaceX. I wouldn't go in any of his fucking spaceships whatsoever, no matter how many times it's been tested. I just don't trust the guy, and he obviously wants to turn us into fucking human hard drives by putting a microchip in our brains. That ain't fucking happening with me anytime soon. I always tell the people who support him, you fucking get your brain fucking fucked with by Elon Musk and put a microchip in your brain if you fucking think
Rick's volunteered. He's openly volunteered on
but he needs it, and he just says it. Will he actually
need a brain first?
Yeah.
Oh, zing!
And by the way, I get because I drive an electric car. I get people coming when I get customers in my cab
coming over your car.
Got them coming in your cab?
Jesus Christ!
Yes,
mate.
Yes.
You need to sort your customers out.
All right.
He does apparently.
Enough.
Hey, that's why he's got 5 stars.
Enough. I get my customers asking me what it's like to drive an electric car. And I told them it's really good. Just don't get yourself a fucking Tesla. Well, I drive a Volkswagen, and Volkswagen will be making cars for over 100 years. A lot of firms have been making cars for over 100 years. Tesla, about 20 years. You're going to go with a firm that's only been doing cars recently, or you're going to be going with a firm that's been doing it for over a fucking century. I know who I'll be fucking going with. You
And
know?
only started turning a profit a few years ago, by the way. Before that, it was government bailout, government bailout, government bailout. Elon Musk is like the biggest fucking welfare queen that has literally ever existed on this fucking planet.
Yeah.
Because these projects have survived through government handouts. And let's just go to this wonderful comment here. No, for fuck's sake, not that one, this one. Elon Musk got a weird thing with X. Twitter is X. SpaceX got a famous X. Grimes. Very good. I wouldn't mind having Elon as a dad. I don't know why, Rick. He's not going to leave you any money. He's not going to do anything. He's just going to abandon you and try and get other people pregnant. So you're just going to be left without a dad. You know, I wouldn't fucking trade my old man for the world.
Yeah. So we're going on to Donald Trump regarding him and him being a pedophile. Let's remember that. Here we go.
So it looks like Donald Trump is repeatedly named in newly unsealed Epstein grand jury documents with multiple messages left by Trump for Epstein. So prior to marrying Melania in 2005, Trump was calling Jeffrey Epstein in 2004 on the regular. We see Donald's phone messages in the West Palm Beach indictment at Epstein released today. His messages are in between girls calling to confirm massage appointments and messages from disgraced modeling agent Jean Brunel.
Jean-Luc
I don't know how to
Brunel.
say her
Fucking
name.
hell, man. Why
And if
some
you zoom
people
in on the
reading this so
documents,
bad?
you can see his name and his number. There's one below me there, and another one up here. And that is Donald Trump's phone number. That is the phone number listed for him in the Roger Stone court case. So, you know, it's accurate. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't know how anyone else could be. Anytime anything's been released of Epstein's, Trump's name has came up somewhere. There was just recently an older black book of Epstein's from the 90s that someone had found, got auctioned off, that had Trump's name listed in there and highlighted and check marked. A lot of special attention paid to it. So
yeah.
Now, whilst the right wing likes to blame pedophilia on gays and trans people without any evidence, because every time we watch something like maybe before, for instance, a Catch a Predator, it's never a fucking trans person or a drag queen that gets caught with a kid. It's usually some fucking, you know, douche. Yeah, but regardless, one group of people.
I just watched those today, and I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. No trans.
Yeah, but regardless, one group of people that seem to be renowned for, you know, doing the bad thing are the elites. And Donald Trump and Epstein and Bill Clinton and various other rich people, whether they be celebrities or corporate CEOs, you know, Alan Dershowitz as well. They have all had some sort of connection with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, even RFK Jr. As well. Let's not forget him. You know, the guy with the two people who want to run for president. Two people running for president against somebody who's currently president have connection with Jeffrey Epstein. And yet, crickets when it comes to the right wing on all of this shit. Absolute fucking crickets. The only, you know, like they want to constantly deflect. You know, they don't. That's why they don't do That's why they don't do reality. They don't do the truth, because, you know, fiction is much more easy to deal with. You know, conspiracies are much more fun than coming up with the truth, which is just too real for them. They're rather bullshit, and it pisses me off, for fuck's sake.
I think they more
And
cherry
that's why
pick.
it's a good car, Rigby, because it was designed by someone with a brain.
Sorry, come on, Chris.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, I think it's more like they cherry pick what helps them, you know, with their message and their
Yeah.
lies. And unfortunately, you just tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And
Well, it's not even long enough, Christine. Like literally, you can. It takes them like 2 weeks before
Yeah.
they're just convinced of the lie, because they just their brain lacks complete and utter critical thinking. Okay, you know, there is studies done that a lot of people on the right either have low IQ, poor education, or sadly, a lot of them are also on the spectrum. And when you're on the spectrum, you know, you have difficulty understanding a lot of things, comprehending different emotions and the truths and reality and all of that. And sadly, you kind of curtail more towards the kind of extreme side of things because that's how you're easily swayed, because it has all the flashing, easy kind of bite-sized things to understand and all this kind of shit. And so expecting the right to have any form of critical thinking it's impossible. They don't understand it. They don't understand the yesterday and the tomorrow. They just understand the now. They lack nuances and bigger picture. And so, you know, they mock Hillary for fainting, but Trump shits his pants and they print out a t-shirt saying real men wear diapers. So it's just like, you know, they don't live in reality. They just want to live in the world where they see Trump as their messiah and they think it's going to deliver them from the very system that he props up that's been repressing them for decades. So, you know
what's futuristic,
guys, I'm
Rigby?
just going to mute you, mate.
What's futuristic is a car not breaking down because there's no need for a car wash mode. By having a car wash mode, you're actually taking it back, as far as I'm concerned. You can't show his cult-based facts. They just decide it's not true to do mental. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, that's something we've had issues with. They need to clean their own house before they come for mine. They never will. Deflection is what they do.
Gotcha, you bastard.
Ain't they invented the Volkswagen? Well, Rick B, that means you should fucking love Volkswagen. No Tube Vegas bets on that open. Will Gary fall asleep on stream? Oh, I'm glad Gary's getting the attention for that. Yes, he will, by the way. I'm going to bet this tangerine. In this world, it's different laws for elite and different for normal people. Always has been, always will be. I mean, Donald Trump right now should be behind bars. The fact that he isn't kind of shows you that the rules don't apply to him.
It should be under the jail, not just in it. And it's too bad because I've been watching this one TikToker. He's really great. He's an ex-con, and he likes to talk about what happened to chomos in prison. First they drain you of all your money, and then the abuse starts.
Yeah. Hang on, Zim. I just want to get to this comment here. You're driving a car Hitler wanted for the German, and what better way to say a nice big juicy fuck you to fascism than having a brown person drive the car?
A brown, bisexual, atheist person driving the fucking car, mate. Yeah. Yeah. Take that, Hitler. Take that. Put that in your fucking coffin and smoke it, you cunt. All right. On to Rick B's clone. All right. We have Vivek Ramaswamy here. avoiding the tough questions as right wingers do.
The reality is, he did not call for the termination.
A massive fraud of this type actually allows the termination of all rules, regulations, articles.
Cite for me one time where Donald Trump called for the termination of the Constitution.
I'm reading it to you right now.
He's never called for the termination of the Constitution.
Massive fraud of this type.
But here's what I believe. I'm going to answer this question before I go to the next interview. Well, what I do believe is there's the projection of the people who do call for the termination of the Constitution, and their behaviors want to take the decisions away from the voters. And never in American history have we seen the wielding of prosecutorial power to try to eliminate a candidate in the middle of an election while you had extrajudicial means of removing them from the ballot.
But I do want to start with.
Now, my friends, that's what I call word salad. And yes, Vivek did a beautiful job there by saying a whole bunch of shit that made no fucking sense after Luke Beasley here, that's the journalist who was speaking to him, pointed out that yes, Donald Trump did say that we should suspend the Constitution. But if Donald Trump says it, it's all fucking good as far as his fucking base is concerned. You know, so yeah, and then he ran away, but he realized he was getting owned. He's like, you know what? I need to fucking get the fuck out of here. And after he finished his word salad, and he was hoping that he was saying enough bullshit that would confuse Luke Beasley into a response. What do you guys think?
like, does he not realize that he's going to be up against the wall with everyone else?
Yeah.
No, but he does, but he realizes that he'll be one of the last people shot, and he's fine with that. You know what I mean? He's a good boy. He's a good, he's a good little, I can say this word. He's a good house packy. You know, he's a good house packy. Yes, master. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My son, my boss, sir. Yes, I respect you very much, my friend. Yes, I understand. Yes, that's who Vivek is, and there's a lot of people like that. You know, Rick B is another one, and they love people. They love their oppressor. My cousin is another one. You know, the cruelty is the key. You know, I really do feel it is. It's not that they're no different to these people. They just happen to be either a different race, religion, or both. But they're the same. This is why race, religion, and shit like this doesn't matter. You got people of all types of ethnicities and religions and whatever who are either good or bad. These are the bad ones, and Vivek is one of them. You know?
Yep.
You know, and he's happy to be that pick-me. He's happy to be the person that needs to, give legitimacy to fascist regimes who are extremely fucking fascist, but need that pick-me in order to fucking not come across as fascist. And you notice that these groups always have tokens, always have fucking tokens. They are not, they're not, awash with diversity. There's always like, when you look at a fucking MAGA crowd, you could play Where's Wally, because the Wally's the fucking person with a fucking high melanin count. And he's a fucking Wally for being in the fucking MAGA crowd in the first place. The stupid cunt.
And they started to catch on, so they started paying people to show up with dark skin. So there's like that one guy who's a pick-me, and anyone left over is a paid participant.
When you say, by the way, Rowan Ash, when you say roast, made me out laughing. Are you talking about this one? But I've got it here somewhere. 1 second. This is a beauty. I do like coming back to this. Where is it? Where is it, my precious? Here we go. Because this is whoever supports Rick B. I showed this to my cousin. He still loves Rick B.
Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory.
Right.
And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you. Because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Unprovoked? I'm speechless.
I don't need to hear what these guys have to say, but the point is, the point is that Vivek just took all that shit on the chin from Ann Coulter, who called him, who said that she wouldn't vote for him because he's an Indian. Well, love, he's not an Indian. He's a fucking American. What you're basically saying is that you won't vote for him because he's brown, and that is the reason why you won't vote for him. And you are a representation of your racist party, and he falls in fucking line with that racist party. He is a pick me 100%. He is aligning himself with the people who, as you said, Chris, and I've said before, who will happily shoot him in the back of the head once they no longer need him. He's just hoping that this fucking game we're playing between these two sides will continue long enough that it will last for the rest of his fucking life. He's probably hoping for, so he won't get shot in the back of his head. Maybe his kids will. Who knows?
Hey, kids, who wants to see more right-wing council culture?
Sure.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This one just popped up.
I'll get to some comments after that.
Yeah. Bella Adidas removes Bella Hadid from the ad campaign after criticism from Israel. Company says it's revising. Okay, I mean, first of all, this is just hilarious in and of itself. But Company says it's revising work for shoe designed for 1972 Munich Olympians, where 11 Israelis were killed by Palestinian terrorists. Okay, so yeah, first of all, Adidas does a whole campaign about the 1972 kind of design for the Olympics, and they pick up a Palestinian American woman to kind of represent that shoe. I thought at first, oh, that's a nice little, jab at Israel, but evidently not. It was just a complete fuck up. But anyway, the Israelis complained, and so they've just, reviewed the situation, and they've yet again cancelled Bella Hadid. The constant barrage of abuse her and her sister suffer by these Zionist pigs, just because they're Palestinian and they don't want their own people being slaughtered, is never ending. And it doesn't matter what campaign she's been a part of. Okay, this is just one of a few. They're always trying to counsel her. They're always trying to silence her voice. They don't want her in the public eye because she reminds them exactly, and she's a voice for the Palestinian people. Now, if you want to talk about genuine cancel culture, she is the poster woman for it, because she's been cancelled every fucking time for simply sticking up for her own people. But you can't stick up for your own people. You're not allowed, because the Israelis are triggered by that. And so yet again, these garbage humans get what they fucking want. And Adidas shouldn't have backed out. Adidas should have been like, fuck you. What's Adidas going to lose?
Are you trying to say Adidas?
No, it's Adidas. It's not Adidas.
Okay. I was like, what is Adidas?
It's pronounced Adidas.
What is it?
Adidas, the trainer.
It's a sports brand.
It's a sports brand, yeah. I remember Adidas, but it's pronounced Adidas.
I remember my cousin called it Adidas, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I just wanted to clarify. I'm not judging.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll get you later.
Look, okay, let's get some comments here. Ohio is the home of the KKK, so it's an uphill battle. We're fighting like the Poles. I told you that's why fucking Cheeto lives there. I love you, Cheeto. Suella Braverman, Pretty Patel, Rishi Sunak as well. Yeah, they're all pick-me's. All 100% pick, all of them. I'm brown, sort of bi, David too, so we have that in common. Yes, but I don't side with my oppressor, Rick B. See you guys. Sorry, the guy's gone. Okay. I don't marvel at people who hate me, mate. You know, one fact about Hitler's made Volkswagen response you did. Well, then you should like them, Rick. Yeah. No one's getting shot of Christine.
Oh my god, Zam, you don't have to read all the fucking comments.
I want to read all the comments, dude. You're obsessed with being a victim of racism, Zam. If you say so, Rick B. Fucking these dumb Trumpists don't know the difference between Indian folks or Arabic folks. Yeah, they don't know anything. Like there's this one story of this woman who said maybe we should speak in.
Rick B,
got him.
Rick B, it's a phrase, and it could be literal, but it could also mean several other things, like the cessation of their rights, them being, put back into slavery, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and look, regarding what you just said, Rowan, like there was a story of this Thai family during COVID said that should we speak in Thai so that way people don't think we're Chinese, and the mum responded by saying, "Darling, you really think these people will know the fucking difference?" No. And of course not. And there's people who are Korean or whatever, they're getting the shit beaten out of them because of them being of Far East Asian descent, that people just sort of say, yeah, you're Chinese, and they're not.
To be fair, there was a huge spike in Black on Asian hate crime as well. So it's not just stupid white Americans that don't understand the difference. It was also stupid, African Americans that didn't know the fucking difference between like the different cultures. But when you're embedded within that culture of being stupid and ignorant, it affects everyone. So
okay, look, I'm skipping a comment here, but I'm going to this one.
Bella
Hadid You go, girl. We are proud of you. Bella Hadid. Did I miss something?
Yeah, I just talked about.
Sorry.
The model.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize. This is a weird comment here. I don't agree with Ann Coulter, but I understand the point she's making. That doesn't mean I'm going to ultimately hate her. Dude, do you know that she's racist as fuck?
Oh, fucking hell, Zam, stop wasting your time on dumb comments like that. You're just repeating yourself and pandering to a moron. Seriously, I've fallen and I can't get up. Yeah, you got to know which comments that genuinely are worth responding to and some that are not, because you drone on with the same shit rhetoric and you're just repeating yourself.
Yeah, no, look. I may be beautiful, but I'm not perfect.
You are too bad.
That's what the monster under my bed sees when I drop the phone under it at night.
Oh my God! A terrorist! Quick! Go Guantanamo Bay! I'm triggered.
Oh my God!
I don't want you guys to see my balls dangling.
Yeah, don't worry, mate.
We don't want to either. That's all.
On the majority of whites
Don't
here,
lie.
don't care.
Okay,
Don't
I
care
lied.
the difference. If you're a person of color, they still treat you as the lesser. Racism is very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, people in general don't care, and they don't give a shit. And the thing is, look, I always make the point of saying, look, racism is fucking everywhere. Okay, in what, like, even when I said, like, during COVID there was a huge spike of black on Asian crime. In China there was a huge spike on fucking Chinese on black crime, as well as like retaliations and things like that. It's just people are just cunts at the end of the day. And the biggest difference is, though, we have the bombs and the guns, and we'll go blow you up across the fucking world just because, we don't want you. We want your resources, kind of thing. And it's just, yeah.
Oh, by the way, regarding
Palestine, it was a racist attack. It was. The bird is racist. The camera was black.
And the bird's orange. Anyway, look, check this one.
Okay, so I'll come over and take away your body.
No, stop it.
Forever.
All right, start again.
Hello, you the takeaways?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll come over and take away your life. Israel forever. I come over and take away your life.
What?
This was a Palestinian restaurant, and they were getting death threats, and apparently they get death threats every day. I drive past a Palestinian restaurant called Habib or something like that. It's on it's right in the heart of London, in between Shaftesbury Avenue and Holborn. And
do you think it's this restaurant?
It could be, as they're quite recognized, but regardless, it might be. Like, I'm sure there's more than one Palestinian restaurant out there, but this is the sort of comments they're getting, and but these people feel emboldened to do shit like this.
Yeah,
like if it was the other way around, terrorism right here, right now, but it's
oh my God,
people do. So,
that would be all over the news.
It'll be moral. It'll be everywhere, and you'll have Israelis out there going, "You need to stop this. You need to put an end to it." I'm the victim here. I feel threatened, but then you're sitting there getting death threats, all day. And I always say to people, you know what? Fucking tell them to come to the shop. This isn't America, okay? We have a large Muslim community. Tell them to come to the fucking shop. Bring your friends and see what fucking happens. Okay, but it's disgusting. People shouldn't have to live like that. Nobody should be calling up a Jewish business and threatening Jews, and nobody should be calling up a Palestinian business and threatening Palestine. Even if the motherfuckers are Zionists over here, if they're not interfering with anything, just fucking leave them be.
All right, now,
their business on.
Charlie Kirk, they mentioned about Charlie Kirk that the elements in your face that makes your face, Charlie Kirk's got a lot of face. Like, he's got all of this face, and he's got like 2 eyes, a bit of nose, and a bit of mouth with all of this face. All right, and that's Charlie Kirk for you. But this is what he has to say regarding this particular topic.
Israel is the only moral country in the Middle East. So where else can women serve in government in the Middle East? Israel is the only country where women are allowed to vote. Israel is the only moral country in the Middle East. So where else can women serve in government in the Middle East?
Sorry, it's repeating itself. So yeah, once again, need to know your shit, Rick B. Sorry, Rick B, you're my brain so much now. I'm confusing you with Charlie Kirk. But can you blame me?
No, same brain.
So yeah, Charlie Kirk.
Share it.
All heads, no thoughts.
Friday, Sunday, Saturday, like one gets it, and then they, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the other guy gets it, and then every second Thursday they trade off. Same brain.
Well, white. I mean, black is the default color. White is, it's an evolution of the loss of color, but black is the original color. So we are the people of color. Black's like, yo, I'm the motherfucking blueprint.
Well, you had that
stereotypical American black voice. Yeah, but never mind.
Like there's that poem. I mean, I can't say it verbatim, but it goes, when I was born, I was black. When I was ill, I was black. When I was this, I was black. When I was that, when I was black. When I died, I was black. When you were born, you were pink. When you're sick, you're gray. When you're cold, you turn blue. And you have the audacity to call me colored. It was such a long way. You know what I mean? And all of this sort of stuff. And it was like, yeah, great. Yeah. He is a death troll. He is our troll.
That's why I always say, pick the comments you want to respond to. Don't fucking respond to all of his comments. I'm like a broken record here.
I'm sorry. Look, you have to forgive me.
I'm triggered now. I'm triggered. I'm gonna cry.
But you have to understand, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to lose any fucking sleep over it. Like if you actually want to, I'm just saying,
please lose some sleep.
And Rick B comes to every Friday show.
Oh, he loves us.
He's like, I think he enjoys being our punching bag.
He loves us.
He's a sadomasochist. I don't know.
He gets entertained. We are the greatest motherfucking podcast
on
the planet. Because we go to places where other podcasts don't. Because we don't give a shit. We tell it like it is. And sometimes pets get involved as well. Like you saw there, the violent attack from one of Sam's birds against his camera.
And I've got a chipmunk in my hand right now.
Oh, move the camera,
I can't
can you?
lift it up or it jumps away.
Oh, okay, never mind. So,
eat it.
Yeah, she got a chipmunk. So, ready to move on from news?
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless
you got something.
Just one more, but are we going into gaming or something like that?
Just got two points on television and then whatever else.
Okay, fine.
Before we leave politics, Sam, I want to talk after you.
This is my last thing. Our favorite guy here, Chris. Okay. I like this guy because when it comes to cosplay, nerdism, and stuff like that, it's for everybody, not just for some people.
I saw a video of someone doing Renaissance Fair cosplay, and the top comment was, "Black people don't do that."
Who decided black people can't be into Renaissance fairs or fantasy? People were totally okay with elves and dragons, but as soon as a black person gets imagined, it's
who invited the nice kids? Renaissance fairs? Black people aren't supposed to be there!
Eventually, those attitudes can make someone question if they belong, and their joy gets replaced by insecurities. But the truth is, the world runs on black creativity. And every time you step into a Renaissance fair in this reality, you're making sure positive black representation isn't a fantasy. If you're a black nerd, I want you to know there's no world that you don't belong in. And if anybody tells you differently,
tell them to go get some therapy!
I saw a video of someone doing.
That's his catchphrase at the end. Go get some motherfucking therapy. Yeah, that's me done.
Okay.
I know. This is all I want to say about it because we could go on for days. But what happened to Trump does not pass the smell test for me We'll talk about it in other shows because there's a couple things, but it would take hours. So that's all I want to say. There's something going on.
Okay. Hassan's ask something from you, as he's on your channel.
I can't read it.
Ask me. Can you talk about the cry from Tommy Robinson yesterday? I didn't see that.
I have no idea. You might have to pass us some information. On
Hassan, pass us some more information, mate, if you can, and I'll happily talk about it.
Did someone punch him in the nuts?
I enjoyed Jon Stewart's interview with Bill O'Reilly. Why are they interviewing these fucking morons?
Are we talking about like the one from years ago? Have they done a new one?
What? He's probably done a new one.
No, because you don't. Bill O'Reilly has gone into irrelevance, so don't fucking give this guy a chance to come out.
Thank you.
You
know, when I was in Malta, I was basically black from the tan. I could believe that.
I believe that. I remember when my brother came back from Tanzania, and he looked so fucking dark. He looked like a new race of person. But he was like even Sri Lankan would not be accurate. He was darker than that, and that's saying something.
That's dark.
Yeah,
that's fucking dark, man.
My favorite one was there was a black woman at an airport. Oh, she's really fucking black, like gorgeous, stunning, like, and that. And yeah, she was talking about, oh yeah, you look at this fucking lovely tan and all that. And I looked at it, was like, tan. So she pulled down her leggings a little bit, and the fucking difference was ridiculous. It would gone from like your standard, like just slightly lighter skin of brown to that real black. So she must have been like cooking in that sun, but she looked fucking amazing. You stick a blue light on her, Jesus Christ, that's it. That's just going to be like sexual photography all day long. So yeah, some of them people get a great tan.
I've always enjoyed the skin pattern where there's a imperfection. I don't want to say imperfection, but it's a pigmentation that it looks like it's the galaxy on a person's skin, like stars. No, not a birthmark.
Or the
like a darker person, and it lightens up a bit, but it has so many spots and different shades. It looks like you're looking at a night sky.
Vitiligo or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a model with that.
Oh yeah, British woman, gorgeous.
Okay, so Hassan's basically saying yesterday was Leeds right. He kept mentioning Muslims because the riots, but he turned out to be Romanian gypsies. Well,
yeah, I mean, Tommy Robinson won't know the difference. He just sees brown people. Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I was saying, if these people aren't born here and they cause us riots, you fucking deport them, because we shouldn't be tolerating this kind of behavior where you come over to this country and do this kind of shit. And
what happened?
In Leeds, there was riots. Remember, I told you there was a family that neglected a child, and social services came to take the child away, and the gypsies pounced on it and just caused a riot. And and then other communities kind of joined in and all this kind of shit, and all hell broke loose. And I've said my response to that would be: find out who did it, get them the fuck out of this country if they're not born here.
If CPS is coming, that's what they call it here.
Yeah,
I would never interfere with them. I'd be like, yeah, the kids over there, you know.
Yeah, but that's what they did. They came with the police to take, and then the gypsies just pounced and they caused absolute chaos. But there's no fucking surprise. You can't do it. Like in Greece, they run riot over there as well. So yeah, I just
check the new road.
No, it's not Rowan. It's not a slur. And people need to understand that even in America, it's not a slur. White liberals have made the assumption that it is a slur. Over here in the UK, in Europe, okay, you have what's called the GRT community. That is what these communities call themselves. Gypsy, Roma, Traveler Community. It's not a slur. Okay? It's an assumption made by white liberals. I need to understand, because there's a lot of gypsies in the United States that also say, why the fuck are people calling it a slur? It's not a slur. So I just want to make that clear.
Anyway, there's so many things now that I don't realize I've become slurs when they weren't. You know, like the word midget. You know, I have to say little people now. Little people sounds worse in my opinion.
It's worse.
Than,
and in the UK, you can still call them a dwarf.
Yeah. Anyway, Zam, check out the Roman series. Those about to die with Anthony Hopkins, Ewan Rion from the writer of the Saving Private Ryan. At the moment, Daniel, I'm watching Cobra Kai. I just saw episode 1 and Shard Lake. But yeah, I'll try, mate. I'll try and squeeze as much as I can in. I still need to finish off Billions. I'm on the last few episodes of that.
Mate, there is no chance in hell I'm going to watch this shit. Do you know who's directed it? You'll love it, Sam. It's Roland Emmerich. So, you know, Mr. Independence Day guy.
Yeah, so we're going to get explosions and shit.
Yeah, a lot of exploding tigers probably, and you know.
The Umbrella Academy has a new season coming out.
Yeah,
August.
Soon. Can't wait.
Yeah. Umbrella Academy and Agatha All Along. I bet you can't wait for that one. Ginger Greek.
I'm not even going to bother watching it. I've given up on a lot of Disney stuff. Mate, I haven't watched The Acolyte.
I've been trolling people regarding Acolyte. People are going, The Acolyte is a really terrible show, and I respond, it's the greatest television show I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. And then people are like, what the fuck? Like, look, I don't think Acolyte is perfect, but if we're going to start talking about Disney, I do feel that Disney has ruined Star Wars. You know, I don't give a shit. When people complain about wokeness and stuff like that, I've already said, I made a video on it on this channel, that there are shows that are woke as fuck, like The Boys, like Invincible, like House of Dragon, like Billions, like X-Men 97, that are very woke and they are very good. But unfortunately, what upsets me with Disney is that they're giving fuel to red pill YouTubers who hate woke. And when they make shit products with woke elements in it, like The Acolyte, you are just fueling these motherfuckers to,
because they blame the woke, not the actual writing.
And the writing is terrible for Acolyte. Like there is one character that knows that the Sith existed. This is prior to the Sith revealing themselves in Phantom Menace, and we're talking a person on the good guy's side, so to speak. And I'm thinking to myself, this person knows they could just tell the Jedi Order, and they haven't. Why? You know, I mean, this person's almost like a mini Chewbacca Ewok type character. So they don't speak English of sort, but they still know how to communicate to a degree. So this person knows, and this the Order don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's and there's so many moments in this that if you break it down, like, this makes no sense. And because Disney always wants to fucking appeal to a broader audience of, you know, children and shit like that, they make shows like Obi-Wan, which is basically the Mandalorian with Leia. You know, like, it's just, you're so shit.
If you try and please everyone, you please nobody.
Yeah, you alienate the people that made the product what it was, and you alienate the people that you try to appeal to because they love the product for what it was. But you think, again, white liberal assumption, something that winds me up about these people. And when I say white liberals, I'm not talking about like the kind of left. I'm talking about this kind of braided centrists that are just like, we'll just make this and whatever. It ticks our boxes, so here we go. But you forget about good writing, you forget about cohesive plots and storylines, and then your product fucking suffers and people move on. Acolyte is quite literally the first live action Star Wars I've never bothered watching, because Ahsoka just killed it for me. I was so fucking bored with Ahsoka. The only thing that was good in that was Ray Stevenson. The rest of it was just like, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Unless Gilroy is attached to the project, I'm not going to fucking bother watching it because I'm just going to get garbage, so I don't give a shit. Fucking done. Okay? And the thing is, they're starting to, like, you know, Disney understands this. I don't know what Kennedy has on them naked pictures or whatever to still have that job, but you know, producers always fail upwards in Hollywood. When you're in the system, they're not going to get rid of you, and I hope it damages the product to the point where Star Wars just fucking dies as a franchise. It deserves to die, just like Aliens, just like Terminator, just like that. Just kill it off. Fuck it. Can't be asked with it. Marvel Okay, it's also like if Deadpool doesn't make money, and not because it's R-rated, but if Deadpool doesn't make money, then Disney are like, "What we've literally thrown the kitchen sink, and the decline is there." But the decline is. I mean, it's kicked in. We've seen the thing.
It's under
but they're
them,
so
though.
desperate now that they're going to get the Russos back to do Avengers 4 and 5, or Avengers 5 and 6, or whatever. And I think that's a good decision to do that. But it depends about the rest of the product. Like Captain America 4 trailer come out and it looks cheap as shit, and it's literally just a copy and paste of the Winter Soldier.
Gotta always leave them wanting more. Star Wars should have ended a long time ago, and it would have been, wow, Star Wars. And now it's like, oh, it just petered out. It sucked. You know, it tarnished the name.
That Power of One, Power of Two, Power of Many thing, which Rick B's writing in now, it was so bad, man. You know, I showed you that clip, didn't I, Chris? You know, like it felt more like Disney than it felt like. I know Disney owns Star Wars, but what I'm trying to get at is it felt more like Disney than Star Wars, and I like when we saw that trailer for Penguin. That's what I want my fucking Star Wars to be like. You know what I mean? You know,
Penguin looks so good.
Yeah, like.
Is it the same actor from the television
Colin Farrell.
series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie The Batman.
Yeah, from the movie, it's going to be in the series. Yeah.
No, but remember there was wasn't there a television series with that kid? It was a young kid too.
Yeah, it was Gotham. No, it's not that one. It's not that.
Oh, that's too bad. I liked him.
No, it's the guy that played the Penguin was great.
Yeah.
Gotham did really good with the villains, but they just didn't do them any justice. They ended up becoming fucking pantomime by the end of it. So the first season of Gotham is fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I fucking hate that show, man.
I know you hate it, but I loved it. I loved the gangster stuff on it, the Falcone stuff. That was the stuff I liked.
It was too. It didn't like. I don't know. It felt. It felt. Oh god! It felt very pantomime-ish.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So by the end of the first season, it started to get into the kind of pantomime series.
Penguin made it for me. That guy, I liked him as an actor.
Yeah. He was the standout, but no, it's not him. Thankfully, it's gonna be.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's gonna be Colin Farrell coming back, and the show looks amazing.
He has a small role in The Walking Dead, but he's a blonde. So.
Nice. The only thing I've seen him outside of Gotham was as a receptionist in John Wick. What'd you say, Zam?
Oh, sorry,
no. The actor that played the Penguin from Gotham.
Yeah, I remember he was in John Wick.
Cameron Monaghan's Joker was fantastic in Gotham. Very underrated performance. Very underrated. Yeah, but Rick, it's the same shit again. It's literally the same premise again. You know,
going back to the well.
Chick, alien, last person alive, alien and chick have a fight. Oh, it's like you can't. That's just some franchises.
You think the alien's dead, but no, it's not. It comes back one last time. Same, down to a T.
It just some franchises have a very rigid premise that you just can't do a lot with. And Terminator, Aliens, Predator fall into that category.
For me, Ridley Scott ruined Aliens with making David the creator of the fucking Xenomorphs.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe that. It makes like that scene in the first Alien movie where John Hurt's character sees a giant fucking engineer with a hole in its body. With that mystery of where did these fucking things come from, that is fundamental to the mystery of it, and to ruin it like that it was made by by a robot created by humans. Oh man, no.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the spoiler. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and this is the problem. You see, what really fucks me off with Hollywood is nothing. There are no mysteries left anymore. Your imagination is no longer allowed to kind of run wild because they answer it and they always make it
formula.
Shit.
And
Yeah.
it's a formula.
And it's a formula and it's always bad. And it's just like, we think the audience was like this. But you know what I would have liked from Prometheus? Fuck all. It should never have existed. Fuck Prometheus.
It's a shit movie that an Alien
There's shit. Look, there's only been 2 good Alien films. The first and the second one. That's it. The rest is shit.
Yeah, the rest is shit. But sorry, Chris, one sec. But I just wish we never got an origin to the Alien. We don't need it. You know what I mean? Ever. We don't need it. Yeah.
You know, what do we need? An origin for the humans next? Oh, we got that in Prometheus as well, didn't we?
You know what was really great
Yeah, we
as a
did.
movie because it didn't have a formula was the original MASH movie. He just shot film, and the studio went, "What the hell is this?" So he actually decided, the speakers at the camp, he would just break up different little stories that were going on with funny announcements on the speakers, and it just turned into something unique.
Oh, I didn't
That
know
had
That's
Donald
interesting.
Sutherland in it, I believe.
Yeah, it did.
Make David a fucking robot with the personality of a sociopathic Yale Nepa baby.
That's what they did, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, because he goes, the character of David was so obnoxious. And it was, I mean, it's just some franchises where, but with, the Marvel universe, like the world is your fucking oyster. And they need to see that shit. I worry about Deadpool Wolverine because I'm not excited to go and see it. But I think I'm just burnt out. Like, I think the one thing me and Rick B agree with is just the fatigue's kicked in now. It's just like Avengers Endgame. Yeah?
The fatigue of shit has kicked in because everything's been so shit.
Yeah. It's so shit. You can't be bothered with it.
Look, like when it came to Phase 4, I think really there was only one solid Phase 4 movie, and that was Spider-Man No Way Home. I think everything else in Phase 4 was shit.
They had their issues. There were some good ones, like, but the payoff was shit. Like, as much as I love Black Panther, the kind of final battle was stupid. Not between Black Panther and Namor. That was fucking excellent. But, again, we've said it with Shang-Chi and all this kind of stuff, world ending, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to repeat
I'm not a big fan of like the underworld civilization and how that panned out and everything. I think is like that's a big fucking deal. And then also, like I said, Eternals was crap. Like you're bringing so many characters into this movie who we can't understand all of them as individuals because they're coming out for the first time in one film. When the Avengers assembled, they already had their own fucking movies where we got to know them. Whilst with Eternals, we did it. And like I said, there's still a fucking giant frozen space alien sticking out of Earth that nobody fucking knows about or cares about at this particular moment in time, and it needs to be fucking dealt with at some particular point. Shang-Chi.
They were going to deal with that in Armor Wars, and haven't they cancelled Armor Wars now?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but Shang-Chi, the moment it should have been very grounded. The only thing with Shang-Chi was the rings, nothing else. The moment they went to this alternative dimension and shit like that, ruined it for me. You know what I mean? It should have been grounded. It should have been about the Triad Mafia and all of that shit. Keep it like that. But no, they had to fucking make it
conflict
magical
between father and son. It's not difficult. Conflict between father and son.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Oh, all right, Christine.
Hi to all our new people that have come in tonight to see us for the first time. Please come back. We had fun with you. Bye.
Make sure you guys sign up.
Roman and Hassan, definitely subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah, this is the channel you need to subscribe to.
Yeah, even if you just want to come for our podcast.
Because you're watching this on Ginger Greek right now, but you need to go to this one, the one I've already posted.
Yeah.
So
but
that's where it's all happening.
The thing is, like, again, so next I just want to talk about The Boys because I'm not going to do spoilers, Alzam, so let's not do spoilers in case nobody's seen it. I just want to say overall, again, what an absolute fucking masterpiece of a season this was. It is let's just take the first 4 episodes. So in the first 3 episodes, there were a lot of seeds and a lot of things going on, and you think, oh God, is it going to be too much? Is it going to be bloated? Is it going to pay off? And then you get to episode 4, and everything that was planted in the first 3 episodes is paid off in quite possibly one of the best episodes of The Boys. You know, that's the one where Homelander goes underground and gets in, like, you know, the old chaps that.
Yeah.
That one. That's all I'll say about that. But that episode had a lot of things going on, and it was all great payoff. And then you had further seeds planted, and then you had one of the best finales ever. That just was, it just blew us away. Again, we don't want to do any spoilers. Brilliant. Nice one, Rowan. And yeah, we don't want to do any spoilers here, but it is the blueprint of just how good a show can be if you just do it right. And I just gush over it because this is what I want. And Zam's exactly right. This is what we want from the Disney stuff. Okay, this kind of, it's funny, it's silly woke in areas, but at the core, the writing and the storytelling and the long-term plan is fucking solid. And it's not difficult to follow that, okay?
And Disney is woke as fuck as well, like you want things to be.
Yeah.
And I want things to be woke. I have no problems with that because I'm an element of woke myself. But it's done so fucking amazingly good. And it takes risks and chances, you know? So, yeah.
I just, you know, so, yeah, a lot of praise to that. And X-Men 97 is now Emmy-nominated X-Men 97. Deserves it. Unfortunately, they got a really shit showrunner coming in to write season 3, so it'll be, you know, see ya, it was good to know you kind of thing. But, you know.
There's a show that grew with its audience, by the way.
Say that again?
There's a show that grew up with its audience, you know, and X-Men 97.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it grew up with its audience. It's unlike Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which doesn't do that. Unlike fucking Thundercats, unlike literally everything else. And it's frustrating because in the 2000s, both Thundercats and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did grow up with its audience. Because the reincarnations that came in the 2000s were vastly superior to the 80s originators. And unfortunately for Thundercats, it was cancelled because toy sales were abysmal. Well, you're going to give your toys to Bandai America, who absolute garbage toys. Of course, toy sales are going to fail. But unfortunately, it was like Young Justice. They cancelled it, and they've never brought it back. And it's a shame because it was spectacular.
Thundercats, what platform was that on?
Cartoon Network.
I don't know about this show.
Did you not? In 2011, it came back. Did you not see it?
No.
Oh, you should check it out, dude. It still stands the test of time. It's so good. It's a complete rewrite so it's, you know, it takes place on Thundera. They're all young at the time, but it's a complete rewrite from what you already knew. But yet it's still so good. Like Tigra and Lionel are brothers in this one. And
what? The Tiger and the Lion are brothers. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. You know, and, you know, their father is there, and it's all about, like, ascending to the throne and this kind of conflict they have of who's more worthy of it and all this kind of shit. And it's just brilliant. It's just an absolute masterclass of a remake. Like, I love it.
Can I ask you a question? If Thundercats was made today, like, not remade, but made today, would conservatives have an issue with it because we are making some sort of furry shit, hybrid, you know, gender affirming alien beast fucking animals into humans?
Probably not, no, because there's plenty of all that crap out there. But somebody might latch onto what you said and just be like, yeah, look at it, they're glorifying those furry freaks.
Yeah, making our kids into furry into. It's a secret furry thing and something like that. You know?
Yeah, they're trying to brainwash our kids into furries. that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, they did that with He-Man to a degree. I didn't mind. He-Man was okay. Grew up a little bit, the show. But I don't know. I'm looking forward. I heard they're making a live-action movie.
Yeah, He-Man. Yeah, they've cast He-Man. Good choice as well.
Who's that?
What? Hang on. I'll get a picture of him.
Yeah. Post it on there.
Yeah.
I thought Dolph Lundgren was excellent, by the way.
Huh?
Dolph
Lundgren, it's just the film was shit. I mean, what's his name as Skeletor was spectacular, but the movie was shit.
Frank Langella, I think his name was.
Frank Langella, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He really gave everything in that.
Yeah, let me just get the. Sorry if you hear something.
Off the Thundercat blames Sam. Yeah, it could be my fault, dude. Anything without Jesus makes conservative burst blood vessels. And if you did put Jesus, they might probably blame you for that as well, saying, how dare you condemn our Lord and Savior.
All right, just bear with me. I'm just getting it up now. Okay. So it might not be the most flattering picture. I'll just get this one up just to give you a... What am I doing? Why don't I just fucking share that screen and I can... I'm so stupid. There we go. Yeah, so it's the guy that's been cast to play... he's done a couple of like rom-coms and all this kind of stuff. But he's it looks the part. Stick a blonde wig on him. He's got big fat muscles. Yeah, he's quite muscular. He's got very broad shoulders, quite muscular as well. Like he can get beefed up and all this kind of shit.
Can he act?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's perfect for that kind of role. Like your acting chops aren't going to be called to task. But yeah, he's all right actor. He's not like fucking Benedict. Come on, my batch, but he's solid enough.
But we're going to see this guy running around in a leotard, basically, waving a sword around.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, and I won't accept anything less than a fucking leotard. Like, if you don't make it like the original, then I don't want to know. Don't care. You've got to give the women and gays something to salivate over.
Look, He-Man has always been a very gay show, in my opinion. Always has been. Adam, for a start, is fucking beyond fucking gay, man. He's gay. Without a doubt.
Look at him, clean shaven, built like a brick shit house, looks after his body, open vest top when he's Prince Adam, purple leotards. He looks fucking fabulous.
Never any females in like there's never any women in his life, at all.
No, exactly. 100%. Like, greatest gay action hero ever. And then what does he do? He gets out his mighty sword and he goes into nightclub mode, and it's loincloths and leather kind of straps all over his body, and he kicks ass. It's as gay as anything.
On top of that, him, his colleagues, his enemies, they're all fucking ripped. All fucking half naked, a lot of them.
And Manatron has a mustache. What's not to like about that? That's as gay as anything.
If they're not half naked, they're wearing the most tightest outfits possible, revealing every fucking muscular contour in their body.
Yeah.
It's fucking gay, that show.
And He-Man was woke as fuck back in the day, because not only was it gay, it had great representation, it had female empowerment, it had it all. Which is kind of ironic because that show had female empowerment, yet in She-Ra, they couldn't make her look strong because it will upset the male audience for some reason. So they never had her genuinely kicking ass.
They did like She-Ra was a little bit like a Xena warrior princess to him being Hercules. Like she was somebody who was falling off the beaten track until Adam He-Man put her on the right path, so to speak.
Well, in the film, she was like the baddie and all this kind of shit. But what I mean is in the series, so there's like a documentary on it. It was really interesting. Like the producers of She-Ra didn't want to make her look overly strong. They didn't want to show her like wielding a sword and kicking ass in the same way like He-Man did. They wanted a more kind of perilous situations or like a bit more light-hearted because they were scared of like alienating the male audience and all this kind of shit. And it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, just that kind of attitude. But I tell you what, talking of She-Ra, and I will champion this show till I'm blue in the face. A couple of years ago, Netflix did a remake of it, and it triggered all the right people, but genuinely a fantastic show. And I introduced it to my nieces because I thought this is a great cartoon for girls. It was very empowering. It was extremely well written. And if you're somebody who just likes good writing and good story, it was a fantastic remake. It was great. So yeah, I recommend that to any kid that wants to watch that.
We kind of went off on the tangent of The Boys, by the way, but
it doesn't matter. We're in the TV land still, which is good.
Regarding The Boys, though, like all the season finales I've watched, this particular season finale was the best simply because it was so different to the previous finales.
Mm-hmm.
The previous finales almost had like a way of doing things that would, okay, fine, we're going to end quite kind of spectacularly, but we're also going to end in a way that kind of resets everything and we start again the following season. And that's how it's going to be. But this one is not that. This season is not that at all.
No. This season is like, holy fuck, I can't wait for the next one. And it's the right time to finish it. It's It's perfect.
It's a shame he never got into Gen V. I like Gen V.
I hate it. It was garbage. Oh, I tried, dude, but I tried. My standards for TV at the moment are like, it's got to not be like fucking stupid CW crap. And it was just bad. Like, it was just, I couldn't, man. I tried, but it's apples and oranges, But we've had some good shows this year. Like Invincible season 2 was spectacular. Hated the last episode though; it was terrible.
No, Invincible season 2 was broken up into 2 parts unnecessarily. When you're doing 8 fucking, thank you. I got 2 more. When She Loves Me to Pieces. No, don't shit on me. No, I know that body movement. You go in there and you take your shit. Is she gonna do it? Yeah, but Invincible season 2, it like to give us 4 episodes in one half of the year, or the end of 2023, and then give us 4 episodes in 2024. Fucking stupid. I was so happy for people like Daniel Vance, who reminded me that show was coming back, but I would have fucking forgotten.
Yeah,
it's only 8 fucking episodes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it, so I waited for the rest of season 2 to finish before watching it, because for that very reason, it was stupid. So I just managed to binge watch it in one, and it was spectacular, except for the final episode. I thought it was absolutely terrible. I literally didn't think that was the final episode. I was like, oh, okay, they're doing 10. But then I looked, I was like, nope, that's it. I was like, fucking what stupid. It was kind of stupid way it was to finish that.
Because I remember in season 1, they packed so much in 8 episodes. Like they were doing like street level storylines and stuff like that with that guy with the robot head and shit like that. And like wow, like there's so much they added into this. But in season 2, like those times I felt it dragged a little bit here and there.
There were some parts that dragged, but overall,
it's still a good show though. I like it. I can't wait. I can't wait for season 3. I mean, season 1 was obviously was excellent. The pilot episode for season 1, it's like, wow, I'm all in on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After that, then the House of the Dragon, by the way, absolutely.
I was going to ask you. It's so good.
It's really good. You don't even need to watch Game of Thrones to enjoy it, Ginger, if you want to give it a shot. But I'm
going to wait for it to finish, and my plan is to start with House of Dragon, then move on to Game of Thrones.
Fair enough. The only thing is that I watch people like Angry Joe, and sometimes they complain about the inept mindsets of certain characters and stuff. But I'm thinking to myself, if the show is good, it doesn't matter if characters are inept, because the show is so good that maybe them being inept is what makes the show so fucking good, but it's so well written and stuff like that. You know, so I don't have a problem with certain characters not being as crafty or as cool or as clever as devious as the characters maybe in Game of Thrones, because you try to you see characters from Game of Thrones and you see characters in this show and you try to say which ones are more like their Game of Thrones counterpart, and some of them are and some of them aren't, and just because some of them aren't, and you think to yourself that these guys are really stupid,
you run the risk of everyone being the same.
Exactly. And the fact that because some people are really stupid doesn't mean the show's shit. It just means if you can give stupid people a good spotlight and make it interesting still, then it's still a great show, and I fucking love it. Mayor of Kingstown, dude, watch that show. Watch that show. It's so good. It is so good. Anyone out there, if you've got Paramount Plus, or if you know good pirating sites, watch fucking Mayor of Kingstown. It is brilliant. Jeremy Renner absolutely kills it in that show. Yeah, it's if you like The Wire, it's kind of similar. I think. I didn't like The Wire too much, but I can understand. I can see similarities between this show and The Wire, but I find this show to be a lot better. Hello, my darling.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Mayor of Kingstown.
It's on season 3 right now. And let me tell you something. Season 3 started filming at the beginning of January. They wrapped up filming, and the first episode came out in June this year. Yeah, so that means that they would have finished.
How many episodes is it?
I think it's maybe 10 episodes a season.
Wow, so they would have done fucking 2-3 months of solid filming.
And Jeremy Renner had just come back from almost being killed the previous year. You know what I mean? So,
The Wire is great, Ron.
But my point is that you can make a show, within half a year of it coming prior, of it. Then it came out like sorry. Let me rephrase myself. They started filming in January, and then the first episode came out in June. That means they finished filming this shit within 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It can be done. It can be done, but nowadays, shit. You know what my problem is? That too much shit comes out after 2 years. Like every season comes every 2 years, and I forget what the fuck I was watching at times because I can't. 2 years is too long.
That's why you need the recaps and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, but that's bollocks. Like I want to, when I watch a show, look, for me, I remember the good old days. And God, I sound like a boomer saying this. When a season would come out every fucking year, even Game of Thrones with the first 4 or 5 seasons came out every fucking. I think first 5 or 6 seasons came out every fucking year. And then they made a big deal about the final 2 seasons having to come out every couple of years because they were doing so much filming or whatever. And now that's just become the norm now. Every show, look, I'm not going to live forever. Just fucking bring it out every year.
As long as they get it right, then I'm okay either way. I don't want them to rush it and it be shit. Like you don't end up with like a Game of Thrones season 8 kind of thing. But it depends on what it is. Like for example, Arcane, which is that was brilliant. But fuck me, it's been 4 years.
3 years. God, it has been. Yeah, it has been. Yeah,
and they've advertised. It's like, okay, the buzz is gone now. I definitely don't remember what fucking happened in it, and frankly, I don't give a shit to go back and watch it. So you don't want too big of a gap. And you don't want to create something that's really laborious like Arcane, which is going to take this fucking long to get off the shelves. The same goes for like Into the Spider-Verse and all this kind of stuff. Like the process of making it was such a fucking pain in the ass because of the creative director was a massive pain in the ass, constantly changing, being a bit too like demanding and pushy and a lot of crunch and all of that. You're just like, well, okay, strip it back a bit and don't be as fucking laborious as that and get it out a bit quicker. As long as the storyline is good and the plot is good, the animation doesn't have to be to the same standard as the second one. It's like, so you have to find the right balance.
Yeah, I loved Arcane. I thought it was fantastic. I'm a big
phenomenal.
Of steampunk, and that was a very good steampunk show. And I'm really upset that it's taken so long now that I've kind of I've already forgotten, everything about it.
Severance season 2, that's still not out. Fuck you know.
Yeah,
that's Jesus. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Succession, by the way, is a good show. If you want to,
I didn't like it.
I loved it, but it reminded me. It was basically a piss take, not piss take, but a commentary of the
Murdochs
of the Murdochs. Yeah. So, and I appreciate.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I think for
that.
me, because the real life was just like, all about it. I didn't want to watch the fictionalized version of it. It's just like, okay, nothing against it. Like, yeah, for people that are not in the know or people that want the two things to see the comparisons and all this kind of shit, gonna love it. And I've got nothing against the show. It just wasn't for me because of the external stuff with it. But I'm glad it won, a shitload of awards. Kieran Culkin is a phenomenal actor. He was always better than his brother. Nothing against Macaulay. And yeah, just I'm happy for it. But it wasn't for me. It was like Game of Thrones. I only didn't watch it because I was really fucking busy at the time. And everyone in my office was talking about it. Every race, every age, all of that. It was like the fucking, water cooler kind of conversation and all this kind of shit. And I was just sitting there like, no idea what's going on. I don't know. I was knee deep in some bird's fucking bosom. I can't remember a goddamn thing. But the good thing with that is now that we've got the prequels, is I can go and watch the prequels and then go jump into Game of Thrones. So I'm watching it in order.
So Rowan says I heard the GOT had a disappointing finale. Yeah, it did, because what they did was the writers for that were given a chance to make something for Disney regarding Star Wars. So they prematurely ended Game of Thrones when it should have gone on for a few more seasons. And by doing so, it ended up being really fucking shit. And it ended up being like an action fest, when the great thing about Game of Thrones is that it is a chess game with a variety of different pieces and players in this chess game. It's different now to House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon, there's only two factions, the Greens and the Blacks. There's lots of characters, though. Same with Game of Thrones. But with Game of Thrones, there's a whole bunch of fucking factions all trying to get that throne.
I think also Benioff and Weiss just got exposed as basically needing the core material in order to write something good, and without it, they were just as fucking hacky as everyone else. Because there is no, like, everyone's been waiting forever for J.R.R. Martin's fucking follow-up books. Benioff and Weiss had nothing to go off of, so they kind of had to roll it themselves, and you ended up with a mess.
By the way, Shogun that came out earlier this year, superb.
Yeah,
absolutely. Did you watch it?
I ended up watching it. Yeah, Game of Thrones, fucking Asia
in Japan. Unfortunately, with Shogun, that whole first season represents one book, and there was never really a follow-up, even though it left on the ending where you felt, we can get more out of this. And I really do feel they can get more out of that, and it's a shame that they might not do. I heard
I think they might go back to it because it was such a success and beloved, and it ticked all Disney's wants. So they'll go back to it.
But this is the sort of stuff where Disney doesn't want to necessarily associate themselves with. This is why they have Hulu. We don't have Hulu in this country, but all their good shit happens to be on Hulu.
Well, that's because all their good shit.
My birds are freaking out because there's probably some roadworks going on outside.
Oh, right. Yeah. All their good stuff appeals to adults, not fucking kids. Like kids aren't. I say kids aren't watching the stuff, but then there's bloody Inside Out 2 that just made a fucking fortune. So what the fuck do I know?
My son is a bit freaked out. Come on, my boy. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Just a noise. It's just a noise. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, I think we can end the show there. We could wrap it up.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been quite a meaty one.
Yeah, there might be some stuff with fan films and shit like that over the course of the week. We'll see how that goes. I myself will be back on Monday with reviews of Mary Kingstown and House of Dragon. So yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. No more Acolyte. That's done. No more Boys. That's done as well. So yeah, Cobra Kai. I'll try and squeeze that in. Maybe we can review that after we've done the first 6 episodes. So
finish the whole thing and then we'll do it afterwards. Do an overall. We don't do it episodically. There's no point.
No. The first 6 episodes is coming out 6 episodes at a time.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. I forgot about that. But so we'll do the first 6 episodes. So I'll come back in 5 weeks for that. Okay, well, that's the end of our podcast for this week. I want to thank everyone that joined me in the panel, and to Rowan and Hassan, our new contributors in the comment sections. We'll be back again. Yes, please subscribe to NerdTube. We're here every Friday doing our little thing. We're a variety channel. We talk about literally everything, but Friday is our little politics corner because me and Zam are basically massive whores for politics, and so this is where we like to vent. And
we're just massive whores, full stop, and politics comes afterwards.
Perfectly proud of it. On that note, I bid you all a good night. Bye bye.